sky that the brothers on the rise now. Endless celebrations all in my house. Levitating now, I'm super duper fly now. London boy, but these see where I reside now. Put the time in while you always yelling time out. And for quit it, cause I know I'm coming with it. You were sitting, you were wishing I was handling my business. Now I got the ball like Harry Potter playing Quidditch. And my business so humongous, you would think that happens in it. Damn man, I'm all that, yeah, I'm all that. Looking for that whip, yeah, that what you call that. I'ma blow up in the summer, have him yelling fall back. And I've always been ahead like an effing ball cap. Man, I came in the game like, whoa. Got a couple chains on me cause I like gold. They told me I'm the best and I told them I know. Cause when I'm in your town, every ticket I sold. Yeah, they saying I'm the man. Facts, bro. Lot of haters, tell me where they at though. I'm the new pop, all I do is rap though. Want me on your song, throw a couple stacks, yo. Woo! Everybody wanna do the same thing, yup. That's why we ain't on the same page. Do my own thing, and I maintain. Flow like water, so I'm going mainstream. I'm going mainstream. Flow like water, so I'm going mainstream. Yeah, I'm going mainstream. Flow like water, so I'm going mainstream.
Welcome back to your favorite channel. It's your boy PBK, giving it to my brothers and sisters the way I always do. Fair and unbiased, raw and uncut. Some gonna like it, some ain't. Like I always say, big thank you and big shout out to all the pet lovers across the world doing what they gotta do with these animals, taking care of these animals on a daily basis. Big salute and big shout out to all them brothers down in the chat. Big shout out to Mad Doctor. What's going on with you, my brother? Casino Life Prayers in the building. Salute to you, fam. Mario 83 SS. What's going on? What's going on? Big shout out to everybody that's listening. You know, I got a little bit of news and we got some dog talk. Like I said, we're gonna talk about them Carver dogs because I want to let Mr. Mayfield say something. Like I always go back to the old folk. I let them say something, and then I gotta ask y'all a question about these Carver dogs and where they're being bred in modern day time and stuff like that, as well as we're going to speak about the old family red dogs and a few questions to the brothers that may have some type of experience with that line, or can answer some of the questions that we have about that stuff. But I want to send a big shout out to all the dog channels, the YouTube dog channels, everybody doing the positive with these breeds. Big salute and big shout out to Big Toyo, man. I want to send a big shout out to Big Toyo and Catch Dog, man. I really enjoyed Catch Dog dog talk the other day, man. It's the kind of dog talk I was raised up on, man. Big salute to Catch Dog. Wherever you at, my brother or pops, wherever you at, big salute to you, man. And the first question I gotta ask, because I was hearing the brothers say something about it on a Samurai show when it came to AKC, and to my brothers down in the chat, you may know what I'm talking about. When it came to AKC recognizing our dog as one dog, the brother said we needed 300 and some people, or 300 and some. That's what I'm guessing, people that got the dog to, I'm guessing, I don't know what. That's why I say if anybody down there, or Samurai knows exactly, what the requirements is, what they need from 300 people. Is it just the pedigree? Is it, what do they need from the 300 people? Because we can get to working on that and try to get it, at least. And another thing, when it comes to AKC, because they got the biggest shows when it comes to the American shows, when it comes to shows. But when you look into history, UKC started before AKC, and UKC always recognized the breed. You know what I'm saying? They just don't got the shows here on American soil the same way AKC have the shows. You know what I'm saying? But UKC was actually dealing with the pit bull from the rip, and they still dealing with the pit bull. But for anybody, when we see these UKC registered dogs, we're gonna automatically think they're a show dog, or they aren't bred like how our dog is bred this way because we got ADBA or Bonafide Registry or Mr. Garner Registry or somebody else registry. We're gonna think, oh, they're not bred like that. They bred for they're not bred to be game towards an animal or some sort, But I just had a question about that, man, as far as what we need to do and how to get the ball rolling in that process. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, 300 some people amongst this whole dog community. you know, everybody should be tired of the blanket term. You know what I'm saying? Let the blanket term fall for other dogs, but for our dog, it'll be recognized on that end. You know, so at the end of the day, man, you know, if brothers if we can't get 300 folk too, you know, going on that situation, man, that's just a sad situation for the dog, and you just might as well worry about what dogs you got. Don't even worry about what they got, whether they got full-blooded pits or blues or grays or silvers or whatever they got them, man. At the end of the day, it's just gonna be what it's gonna be. Oh yeah, AKC ruins dogs because they take the working. They most of the dogs you see in these shows, you know, when it comes to the working dogs, they're not in working standards no more. You know, they can still go bite and do all this stuff, but they're not in the working standards as you know they were. You know, and the thing about the pit, you know, that's another thing. You know, saying the AKC shows, they might not want the pit to go in there rowdy when the ADBA shows, they want the pit to fire off, doing like they used to do back in the days, or you know when brothers would put them in the square. So they still want them to fire off. But once you get them into the AKC shows, I'm almost certain that they gonna want them to walk that ring and show some obedience and not growl, not do any of that type of stuff. Let the man touch them all in the face or whatever. However they gonna do it, and you know keep their poses and stuff. But it's gonna be more of a real modeling thing. When y'all sit here where these brothers sit always talking about old ADBA, them show dogs, them show dogs. Nah, just like Ken Lightning said down there in the chat, you made a good point, Ken. You know, when it comes to the show wise, when it comes to shows, see, we don't necessarily need AKC for the shows at all. Because our shows, I tell brothers by far, we don't lose uh working ability in our shows. That's what I always say, man. We don't lose working ability in our shows. Y'all getting it confused. You know, and a lot of y'all ain't getting it confused. You just looking from outside of the glass and assuming that. You know what I'm saying? But when it come to AKC, once you start getting them in them shows, I'm quite sure you're gonna lose some ability because you're gonna start breeding for the dogs that's not real hyperactive, the dogs that not souped up, but they look good. They got a good structure, but they ain't souped up. They won't growl at nothing, they won't bark at nothing. Them the dogs is gonna win the AKC shows, and them that's why they will ruin the actual working ability in the dog. You know what I'm saying? But it will be good to be recognized, you know. But in order to be recognized, you got to ruin the breed. I think we'll stay where we at, you know, in that manner. You know what I'm saying? But I can't speak for nobody else. I'm just, you know, giving my opinion. You know, now when it comes to comparing the AKC staffs to the modern pit or the pit that we got ADBA registered, um, I'm not sure how you would compare that. Far as could they be compared? Far as are they the same? But what would be good is to compare a UKC dog, a UKC pit to a regular pit, or I call tomorrow and see what it takes for me to register my dog UKC that's ADBA registered right now. Most likely, you know, if I'm not mistaken, I could be mistaken, but they're not going to need nothing really besides my information and my certificate and stuff. They shouldn't need no kind of, you know, they may call AKC or something like that, but they shouldn't need really nothing else. They can get the whole background. And then what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna see if UKC can give me more background information on the old school dogs. I'm gonna check that out because UKC should have, you know, that knowledge, at least that information. Because when, like I said, when you look it up, they've been dealing with these dogs way before ADBA was dealing with them. And when AKC and ADBA, you know, recognized, you know, these dogs, ADBA wasn't around. They came around in the early 1900s, but the mother registries was around first. You know, now, this is what I want to talk about to start this thing off with. The black and tan stuff that we was talking about. Now, my question is, you know, we all heard, you know, the folks say any dog can have them genes in them and they can lie dormant in your dog for years, years and years. But my thing is, how long can they lie dormant in your dog if one dog possess that in you know in the dogs? How long can it lie dormant? And you know, how do you know the dog actually, how can you tell if the dog has a 10-point gene? You can't tell, and if it just pop up in my dog, I'm supposed to accept it. Just like when we was talking about the hog and the red boy dogs and the Mayday dogs. If we look at that pedigree and say and just accept a tricolor dog coming off that breeding, and we just look at that and accept that, that's cool. But at the same time, when you look at that, you see, where's this tricolor coming from other than the bolio, the tombstone bolio? But how far do we got to go back to see that tombstone bolio? So, the actual genes may lay dormant 30, 40, 50 years in these dogs. You know what I'm saying? But that's the thing I want to know. If it lays dormant in them dogs that long, and how do you know? If that's the case, we can say the dog, the black and tan gene is in every dog, every pit bull been just lying dormant, waiting for, another black and tan gene to meet up. And it's too many breeders being dead and not enough black and tan dogs being popped out to say the 10-point gene is present in every dog, and just like the man said, the 10-point gene don't necessarily mean it's gonna be black and tan. It can be a red color and tan, but it's still gonna be them tan markings along the eyebrows and along the cheek area. A black and tan dog does not necessarily have the 10 points. When we talking about 10 points, some of y'all brothers, you posted them black and tan dogs, they look great. You post the modern day pictures of the dogs, and I told you to post old school pictures. One brother posted me a bunch of old school pictures. Big salute to you, my brother. You know what I'm saying? A bunch of old school pictures with the black and tan dogs with the actually the 10-point gene in them. Some of them dogs y'all posted with the black and tan, they just black up under the mouth and black on the legs, but that ain't what I'm talking about. It got to have that 10-point gene in it. And my thing is, how do you know when your dog got it in it? How many years can it lay dormant? Oh, I'm saying the yellow dogs don't got a 10-point gene in it, but how do I actually know? If I'm only going by yellow, I'm going by red boy. The dogs that I see between red boy on back, because we don't really see red boy, them father, Jeff, and all the rest of them dogs. No pictures of none of them. Did they possess the 10-point gene? And if they possessed it and it was just lying dormant and now it just pop up, it's like, come on, man. I agree with it, but at the same time, it's like you really don't got no wins against it. You just got to accept it sometimes. You know what I'm saying? It's like you just got to accept it, because you can't say it wasn't lying dormant in the dogs. Just like when we were speaking about, like I said, about the hog and the red boy, which is the boomer and the Mayday dogs. And I said there's no reason for a 10-point dog to pop up right now in modern day times. If you relying on the only 10-point dogs is the tombstone bolio back then, but coming from the research, it's saying the 10-point gene can be lying dormant all this time. But it also says in order for the 10-point gene to be for the show, both dogs must possess the 10-point gene, which means hog would have had to possess it, and the dog hog bred to would have had to possess it. Whether they showed it or not, both of them would have had to possess both of them genes in them. Now, what's that chance? One dog don't got tombstone in them. One dog do. So in order for that show to look like that Rottweiler color, or the color that we always speak about, in order for that to show, both dogs must possess the gene. Whether they look like that or not, they can throw off a puppy, but both of them must possess the gene. So that make you think about these dogs, man, and how they bred, and a lot of them, like these brothers say, a lot of these dogs aren't bred, and I ain't even talking about the yellow dogs or none of these close-up dogs. I'm just talking in general. When you start going back to the old schoolers, a lot of these dogs ain't bred like that, man. You know what I'm saying? It just the way brothers did it, man. The way brothers did it, and I want to play this Don Mayfield piece, because I want to talk about the stuff Don Mayfield talk about, and it's the same things that I hear brothers talking about modern day time. You know what I'm saying? And it's basically the same thing that we speaking about now when it comes to breeding and stuff like that. But to catch you up to what he's gonna be talking about, he's gonna be talking about Carver, Carver breedings and how Carver dogs are bred and families of dogs. And I'm gonna stop it a couple times to speak on what he's talking about, But let that play real quick.
Maurice Carver, he had a number of dogs of this particular family, the outcross family that's outcrossed off of Tudor's Purist family. But over his years, Maurice didn't breed those families of dogs that he had, those more pure families. It wasn't the Purist family. He didn't go on to that Purist family. He wasn't able to create the Purist family on his yard. And he took his families of dogs that was bred very close to Earl Tudor's yard, and he crossed them together. Then later, he got some of the Eli family of dogs in there, which was not a true bred family of dogs, which Eli's mother was of unknown breeding that came by way of the blind Billy dog, that its owner, Floyd Boudreaux, he never knew the breeding of the dog. That's some unknown breeding there, so that's a very outcross. And as Maurice crossed those different families together, he went the other way. He created that family becoming more outcrossed and more outcrossed, like we was talking in video 13. It became more outcrossed and more outcrossed as he dealed it off of his yard. Then those different families of Carver dogs was crossed together, and they still became more outcrossed to the part of now, here in 1991, those dogs that he started dealing in the 70s of this family, such as Miss Spike, the way that he bred those dogs, and then when they was bred back to one another in different areas, mostly the South of the United States, Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, Florida, on through that area, the Carolinas, and that's where the largest part of the dogs Maurice dealt into the United States went, and that's where a lot of the breeding of what they call Carver dogs and was bred and are still being bred. Well, at this time, to explain to you how the percentage runs in numbers, and we're talking about the different numbers that's within a family of dogs. What you could call, what we will call the Carver bred dogs of today, they are the dogs of the most outcrossed breeding within a family. Their genetics show that they have more crosses of different families all throughout their heritage. Now, they are the largest number in a family. They are the largest number of the breed that's within the American game dogs, such as the...
All right, let me stop it real quick. Some brothers may not understand what he said. The Carver dogs are basically some of the most scattered bred dogs for that time, for that era that he had. So now what he's telling you is about taking scatterbred dogs and breeding them close, doing line breeding, inbreeding compared to pure families of dogs.
Those most outcrossed scatterbred dogs, they are the ones that number the largest in number. But as you go back to the more pure families that those dogs was bred from, those dogs in those more pure families, they're in less number as they get more pure. And you'll be able to understand this real good when you're able to fill out a pedigree, like a 6th generation pedigree. This is going to take you, such as this very pure family here. If you fill out a 6th generation pedigree on that, it's going to start in the 90s here, and it's going to take you all the way back into Earl Tudor's yard. It'll take you back through his yard. That's how far a 6th generation pedigree on the pure family take you. But if you fill out a 6th generation pedigree on what was called the Carver dogs, the Carver families, it won't even take you back to Carver's yard. In other words, this will show you something. It leads back to what we was talking in video 12 with Weldon and I, and he was asking me the questions about George Sadler, Joe Cavina, Earl Tudor, Leo Kennard, and the different players of the game in that era. And as to their ability of breeding and as to their ability in the game. Well, you go to check in the pedigrees of today's dogs, and you'll see how in every family, you'll see Earl Tudor's name throughout history. Where that you'll see those other men's names very little. So that's going to show you and teach you something about where the level of understanding of breeding was. Now, it's not to say that they didn't breed lots of dogs, because they did. They bred lots of dogs, and I would say even more so that those men bred more dogs, more litters of dogs than Earl Tudor bred. But you see, they didn't carry on in breeding them in a family way of breeding that became the American game dogs' purest families. They didn't breed that way. And those dogs, they drop out of sight in the history of the breed. The same way with, even though Maurice Carver's name will appear in the American breed, the American families of game dogs, many, many times today's time, within a period of time, there won't be any Carver dogs. There won't be any Carver families, and there won't be any Carver bred dogs that'll be in the lineage of the American breed. As they become more outcrossed, they just fade out of history. They just fade out of the records. And only the more pure families, they're the ones that leave the records and leave the lineage of history in such a way as they continue on. Now, the purest family that's bred today, it has been bred in a way of lineage, like I've talked of in the last couple of videos, in the way of where it was take off of the last purest family. And then it goes for so many generations there and being bred in different areas, becoming more pure and more pure. Now, as you understand these different families, how they're bred off of that purest family, and you see the way that they become different from one another as they're more outcross bred. They become more different and more different. And every time you put more cross in there some way or another, it creates the differentness in it. Until that type of breeding becomes very different from one another. And then when those dogs are taken and someone gets them for a number of years and starts breeding them more pure into their close kin, that's when you get a lot of freakiness. Three-legged dogs, when you go to breeding those outcross bred dogs in a way of family breeding that's real close, that's where all that freakiness comes from, screw tails and things like that.
Very, very important what he just said to what I wanted to speak about. We always talking about how some of these dogs, you can't inbreed them as great as your red boy Jocko, is because the exact same thing that he's speaking about right now is because that particular line has been kept pure, coming through his Mayfield stuff and coming from the red boy stuff through the top, through the Till stuff, through the Kobe stuff. It's a family of dogs, and a family of dogs on the bottom side. And then when I got the Big John stuff, we talking about a whole nother family of dogs. It's still with the same family, going back to the same family. Now, Red Boy Jocko in general, folks say it all the time. Them dogs take better when it come to inbreeding. The man just tell you, them Carver dogs, when you take them, they already scattered bred before y'all even touch them. When Mr. Carver had them, they was already scattered. Y'all ain't had nothing to do with it. But when y'all get them and you want to take them and bring them and line breed them and inbreed them and all that, that's when you get your screwed up dogs, your dogs that's shaped funny, 3 legs and all kind of stuff like that. And everything he said is exactly what y'all say in modern day time. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. But a lot of folk don't pay attention to it. You know what I'm saying? A lot of folk don't pay attention to it. What's going on with your yellow one down there in the chat, man? Superline, North Florida in the building. What's going on? Fat Farm Ray, Vernon Star. Salute to my brothers. Mr. PB down in the building. Dog Man TV. What's going on? What's going on? J-Bo, what's going on with your big dog? Salute to you, man. Hey, big shout out to my folks. Just J-Bo, man. GL Audio, what's going on? What's going on? Y'all brothers got some good old family red talk we're gonna talk about in a few minutes as well. I see a lot of them comments talking about the hemp Phil Wilder stuff, and I want to speak about that as well. But I'm talking about this right now, you know, and brothers say it all the time. You can't breed the Boils dogs like this, or you can't breed these Eli dogs like this. It's because exactly what that brother said just now, just that few little sentences. Carver, and he said it. No matter Carver giving y'all the dog scattered bred already from the rip. He, you know, no matter what, you know, you can only way you can say you got a Carver dog, and you see a Carver name through that pedigree, all through that pedigree, right? You're gonna rarely see that, he said. The way Carver breeding his dogs, you know, and when you look at it, you see it go back to him, it go back to somebody else directly after that. You know, but I'm gonna keep letting this thing play, man, because he's speaking something, like I said, that brothers be talking about today, but you're looking over it and you're trying to breed, and know whether the man telling the truth or not. It's just unfolding like that for you. You know, brothers breed them red boy Jocko dogs and they breed them till the wheels come off. And then y'all Eli brothers always get in the comments talking about, oh, you're breeding too tight. You're breeding too tight. I'm breeding too tight for what you running, but I ain't breeding too tight for what I'm running. You know what I'm saying? And it goes to knowing what you got, knowing the history of the dogs. And like I said before, this is just for anybody that may say, oh, I bred too tight in my breedings. Man, the breedings that I did or did it over the past couple of years, been dead for the last 40 years. Brother, sister, cousin, uncle, aunt, nephew, different things like that. Why would my little one breeding make a difference? You know what I'm saying? So let's keep listening to what Mayfield got to talk about.
But it doesn't come in the pure families. The more purebred families, that family will be real strong, powerful, more body, more strength, the whole thing, as to what we're breeding for. Now, the direction that we breed for, in the breed, the American game dog, it's as if what we have proven over the years of American breeding is that we have bred them into a lineage, into a pureness family that heads in the direction of a family of dogs or animals that has been bred in the wild by nature.
Yeah, that's what Mayfield was talking about, though, man. I just had to speak about that because you know that's the reason y'all brothers ain't getting or not getting the breedings that you want with some of them Carver dogs when you doing a lot of inbreeding with the dogs. You know, it just the way it go. The family wasn't kept tight from the rip. You know, now let me talk a little bit about them old family red dogs as well. And I'm gonna drop the link down in the chat for anybody that want to come up and talk about anything when it comes to them dogs, man, or salute anybody or shout out to anybody out there. You know, another thing, you know, before I get to them old family reds real quick, you know, with the blue dogs, right? Let me let you know how easy this is. And we know we done heard you gotta have both genes, and the mama gotta have them, and the daddy gotta have them. They don't have to be present as far as looking blue. They just gotta have the genes in their body. Now, let me show you how easy this is. A brother got a game dog. He need puppies. He need a female. He know a brother with a blue female. He breed that blue female, and only one he keep is the dog that's not blue. So now he got a red, a buckskin, a black, whatever color dog he got, but it's not blue. He bred to a straight blue dog that wasn't even, you know, really off none of the type of stuff that you know you got. All right, but he got one puppy off that dog, and he got papers to go with it. That dog don't show no blue traits. He breed that dog to his dog. Them dogs don't show no blue traits again. This say about 10 years down the line, 15 years down the line. You know, somewhere another dog with the same kind of blue traits breed with that dog. Them puppies may come out blue with neither dog. The mother, neither the side is blue, but both of them got blue genes. You know, and it'd be crazy because then brothers just pull out the pedigree. Oh, it's going back to this. It's going back to this. But them genes, like the research said, them genes lay dormant in these dogs for so many years that you forget about that stuff. If just say I'm gonna use Mellow Yellow and Fletcher them. All right, just say if in that Big John stuff, a blue dog was bred into that Big John stuff back in 2025, back in 2003. A blue dog was bred into one of them dogs, and they kept the dog off the litter that wasn't blue. Just say that. Now, that means my dog still will be holding a blue gene in it somewhere. You know what I'm saying? And then this is another thing I gotta ask anybody in the chat. All right, now my dog is a line bred, family bred of dogs. Now, how far does that blue gene travel when I scatter bred my puppies up and stuff like that? Does the blue gene travel to the dogs? The scatter bred stuff? Everything that comes off of my dog possess that gene? I don't know, man. I'm just asking, because it's so easy for brothers to slip this stuff in, and then 15 years down the line, you're popping up with a blue dang on bolio dog and showing us the papers, and we all agreeing with it because we see the papers here. But and then brothers start talking about, the blue dogs, But I don't know, man. And when I had to start off talking about that old family red stuff, you know what I'm saying? Is it any old family red dogs that's not coming down off the Hempfield Wilder dogs, or Hempfield Wilder, the people who pretty much during that era, when they had the dogs, pretty much random family of dogs, the purists, kind of like what Kobe did with his strain of dogs. When it comes to the old family red, how would I know I got an old family red if I don't see Hempfield Wilder in the background? And can I have an old family red if I don't see Hempfield Wilder in the background? Hey, Vernon Starr, what's going on? You one of my historians when it comes to that Red Boy Jocko stuff, man. And this is another thing. Do that light buckskin brindle, does that come from that old family red stuff? Yep, I heard Wallace had the old family red stuff. I meant to say his name as well. Hempfield Wallace stuff and the Wilder stuff. Was Centipede the old family red dog? Because I heard a couple times that Centipede was an old family red dog. But when I look in Centipede pedigree, Centipede don't have the dogs that I see in the pedigree are not what I thought would be considered old family red dogs. But I could be wrong. Is Centipede considered an old family red? Dogman TV say Creed. That's the old family red stuff. And I was asking about one of the rarest dogs, out right now. And I tell you the truth, that old family red might be some of the rarest blood still floating around that people still got. Modern brothers still got good yards off of them. That may be the rarest stuff out right now. Tell you the truth. Cause we're not gonna say like the Kobe dogs, because Kobe and everybody's shit, and Tudor and them, they in everybody's stuff. But that old family red strain may be the rarest family out right now, because a lot of people, we get red noses, but we they may not be really going back to the old family red stuff. Hey, Cito say Razor's Edge blood is #1. You better admit it. I tell you what, you bring one of them Razor's Edge to that dog show them brothers be competing in. You know what I'm saying? And I can't do nothing but give it props when it's competing. Can't do nothing but give it props. But we got to see it. We got to see it. Now I know them boys say that Camelot stuff. They got some regular pits and that Camelot stuff. I ain't sure. Charles Doolin says it's still the same old family in Northern Virginia. And this the thing I want to know though. Can I the brother say the Creed stuff, the Wilder, the Hempfield, the Wallace, those old family red brothers. But and none of y'all never heard Centipede was an old family red dog? And if he is, what makes him? Because I pull the pedigree up and we look at the pedigree real quick. What makes Centipede old family red if he is old family red? That'll give us better knowledge of the line of dogs. Hey, one thing about it, man, I don't know really nothing about Razor's Edge dogs. When I say so I can't talk no trash about them, no different than another line of the regular pit bull that I may not know nothing about. You know what I'm saying? I can't talk no trash about him because I never had him really. I know a few brothers that had them different kind of dogs and stuff like that. I'm quite sure if you cross them old family reds, they be pretty lean. They be pretty athletic looking dogs and stuff like that most of the time. So you're gonna it's gonna probably be a breeding up with the Razor's Edge. Gonna probably have a lot of more aggression. The Razor's Edge gonna bring the aggression probably, and that old family red gonna bring your athleticism and your tenacious, your dog that's just gonna keep going. Razor's Edge gonna probably give him some bone and stuff like that for them big hogs. He's gonna need it. And that, you made a great point, Tony. There's a lot of brothers that got bully classified dogs, but they're not really bully type dogs when we think about the bully looking dogs, like the dogs that can barely move and the dogs that can barely move around, period. And you got to touch them about 1,000 times at a dog show. A lot of these brother dogs be a little more athletic when it comes to bullies. My brother Blueprint, I don't know if he got bullies, but he got blues, and they athletic. They don't even look like no dogs that can't get around or none of that type of stuff like that. And they working dogs. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, when it comes to any type of activity, man, especially if you hunting or something like that, I wouldn't knock you for breeding for your particular purpose. Even if you crossing your pit with this or your pit with that. That's your particular purpose that you breeding for, and you know what you need. You know what I'm saying? If you coon hunt every day, you know what you need to treat that coon, and these coon dogs ain't doing it. You need something else with a little more of this in it, or I'm gonna bring this breed of dog and add to it, or whatever. So it just depends on whatever your job is or whatever you're doing with that particular dog, man. Far as what you cross into it, And I know a lot of brothers know that does a lot of work with the Razor's Edge and different things like that, but I don't have a lot of knowledge about them type of dogs, man. Now, when it comes to any kind of one thing we gotta remember too as well, just say you ask me what's my keep for a dog show, or what's my keep, or how I'm getting my dog ready for the dog show, or something like that, right? Now, the thing is, it's gonna be different for everybody because you gotta understand and know what look you're looking for. The look that I'm looking for may not be the look that you're looking for, and every dog gonna be different. And with dogs, you trying to achieve different looks. You're gonna have to do different things with dogs. It's gonna take different workouts. Where I may do a lot of flirt pulling, a lot of treadmilling, you may need a lot of weight pulling and a lot of something else. you know. So you really gotta freestyle that thing, and that's why I always say trial and error, and see what benefits your program as far as the dogs that you got and what you running. Your dogs may not be real prey drive where they want to chase after flirt poles and stuff like that a lot, but they'll do other things. Like I had one time, he wouldn't walk out the yard, but he'll run on the treadmill real good. But he wouldn't walk. As soon as I take him to the edge of the yard, he start pulling back, a full-grown dog, pulling back, and I got to drag him down the street. But if you put him on a treadmill, he'll run full throttle, you know. And I always say I can't, me myself, I cannot get a 1 in 100% shape to do that won't walk, because walking is part of what I do. You know what I'm saying? So different dogs do things different ways. And with that dog lacked that walking at, he was a great swimmer. He'll get in the swim tank and swim. You know what I'm saying? So you make up for things, and with other dogs might not like the water. You know what I'm saying? He might not be good at dropping them in the swim tank or going out in the ocean and different things, So everybody little keep or program gonna be different according to your environment, according to the dogs you got, and according to the job that you bringing them to. What's going on, John Denbury in the building? Gorilla Knox, what's going on? Yes, sir, man. I just had a few questions. Like I was saying, we was talking about them Carver dogs being so outcrossed. And this is coming from the brothers that was round when they was being first bred, being so outcrossed, and then brothers getting them and you trying to cross them up and breed them tight, and you get deformed dogs. You know what I'm saying? Because of the way he bred them from the rip. He didn't never kept the family close. It wasn't a close family of dogs, and sometimes that may be why you need to add some of the blood from the tight families, and you gotta look in the pedigree and see what the tight families are. It don't mean one tight family. It mean going all the way back to where Tudor and them brothers had their dogs, and the brothers before them were they keeping it tight? Did they have a plan? You know what I'm saying? Because you look at Mayfield dogs, he had a plan, and when he got them from Tudor and the brothers before him, they had a plan. So just some good things to check on when it comes to your pet and what you're running, or what you're gonna be breeding to in the future. And always keep in mind them lean, muscular dogs. They're gonna look smaller than same weight, 50-pound dogs. Both of them weigh the same thing. One of them muscular, one of them fat. The fat dog gonna look bigger. Your muscular dog, because muscles is more dense. Even though they weigh the same thing, is more dense, which means it's gonna take up less space. The same amount of weight gonna take up less space. So your 50-pound, more lean, muscular dog gonna look smaller. And that goes to the same time when we say we take a 55-pound dog and bring him down to 49, 48. All muscle. He may look smaller than your 48-pound dog that still got body fat on him. Or he may look kind of even. He may not look as big, rather, than your dog he's 48 pounds, but he got more fat than you trying to claim he got on him. So he look bigger. You know what I'm saying? But in actuality, the other dog gonna come in and gonna big dog him. Man, I was doing that research, man. I see Mr. Charlie Lloyd was the first man to ever really get indicted for the dog fighting stuff. The boys had a show that they were pumping so hard that I guess they say the police found out about it and sent undercovers to investigate around them for a few months before the show even started. If you go back and look at Mr. Charlie Lloyd, his famous match with Mr. Louis Kiger or something like that. You know what I'm saying? The police was already there watching the show. And the thing about it, once he found out he got indicted, he booked and rolled out and dipped out to Boston. And then he tried to knock it and put it in their face by posting in the Gazette. And I think Mr. Mayfield spoke about that as well in one of his interviews. But I had read it, and then I heard him speaking about it. But he went and bragging about it and posting that he got a stud in the, which was the Police Gazette back then. But it was basically the magazine talking about sports, talking about what's going on across the country. You know what I'm saying? But, even back in his days, it wasn't no charge like it is now as far as getting time-wise. But if it made him run from New York to Boston, to keep from being indicted, then it was something, for that time. You know what I'm saying? Um, let me see. Let me see. Big salute to everybody down in that chat, man. Everybody down in the chat. Hey, Vernon, sometimes them brothers say that Red Boy Jocko stuff got that old family red in the background. Sometimes they always say that. And I seen some old family red dogs that was blind with them brindle stripes in them. We always think when we say old family red that they be that dark red color. And that may be some of the more popular colors in it. But I've seen some old family reds that was blind brindle or had that brindle stripe colors in it. And if we breeding away from the old family red, if the Red Boy Jocko has some old family red in the background, and if we breeding away from that, it'll kind of show why we losing that blonde brindle color. Because the blonde brindle was a whole lot more, you'll see it around the country a whole lot more than you do now. And the old family red was talked about a whole lot more back then than it is now. That old family red was being bred back then. You know what I'm saying? People was doing it. And now that you don't hear about it no more, that same color kind of diminished. Brothers got Red Boy Jocko tight as you can breed it all across this country. But everybody don't got them old school blind dogs. I'm talking about Red Boy Jocko coming off the yellow stuff, not the Eli or Bolio or none of that other stuff. Now, if you're breeding away from that old family red, if it had it in there, I don't know, man. Street Rossi said, what's the difference between Sport Dog Journal and the magazine that Pete Sparks put out? Your friend is mine and mine. Truthfully, brother, I don't know, man. Tell you the truth. I don't know, far as I can't really say what's the difference in them because I know the magazines you're talking about. I think both of them were trying to accomplish the same thing, trying to put the dog information out during the time. Brothers just have to adapt to the laws that's out. Back in them days, them was Wild Wild West days. So pretty much how it went when it comes to, something like that. Brothers gonna pretty much print what they wanted to print. But as far as difference wise, I think that'll be, more of opinionated. Whether this man liked it, Mr. Pete's magazines more, or did he like the journal, or these folk like the journal more? Now, I would probably say the journal probably had more information when it came to dogs around the country. I don't know. I'm just, guessing right now. Mr. Pete was kind of older. Mr. Pete was kind of older when the journal and all that stuff was really taking off to the point where that 90s, that 80s, 90s era kicked in. Mr. Pete was, you see how he look on his videos, and you see them videos in VHS, and Mr. Pete look like he already in his 80s and 90s already, at least 70s and 80s, close to it. Hey, Vernon Starr, man, I hope I get one off my stuff, man. I hope I get one. Hey, I ain't gonna lie, like I said, from what the research say, them 10 points could be in your dog for a long period of time, for a long period. They don't say. It's no scientific proof how long they can stay in your dog. So a brother could have made a breed into a dang on any kind of tan and brown pit bull back in, say, 1940. I mean, they're going to still be in there, if you got one of the dogs that lead back to that dog. Unless they got a time frame that this stuff can be bred out the dogs. I don't know, man. I don't know. Yeah, that one we had off Bud Vernon, it didn't have no stripes in it, but it was blind. It was a blind, but it didn't have no stripes in it. But I remember one that I seen off Little John, named Bear back in the days. That joker was like a light color, blonde. He had some stripes on him. He was striped from head to toe. Ain't no telling, man. I ain't seen him in a long time off that strain of dogs, Um, and when your dog get bigger, I like to see it, not to prove you wrong or nothing, but just to see how it look, because I ain't seen one in a long time that come off them dogs. Um, but I know it should be in their genes to have it. And maybe when you take, even though they can, maybe when you take certain ones off that family and you go back to each other with certain ones, you get that brindle that pop back out in your dogs. The same way we speaking about the rest of that stuff. All of them went brindle, just certain ones of them. So maybe when you take them ones back in the pedigree and you find the ones that's brindle and you cross them back on the bottom side to the ones that had that brindle in it, maybe it'll pop up. Dogman TV say Cleo. I'm taking you talking about Bass Cleo. Street Rossi say, PBK, I got a question. When it comes to the albino color, do you see a lot of pit bulls? Nah. Now when you talking about albino, I see a lot of white pit bulls, but albino and white, two different things. I know what you're talking about. You can tell an albino pit bull. I'm not gonna say they don't come, because that's a genetic, something that can happen genetically. So anything when it comes to albino stuff, they can pop out anything, no matter what you got. I have an albino Big John dog. You know what I'm saying? They just pop out. You can't really, I don't think you can, you can control it as far as, okay, he got the genes where he had produced dogs that were albino. I'm quite sure it go the same way, but at the same time, I believe that, you can produce that without having them genes in you. But I had to do my research on it to give you a definite answer on that. It's just lack of pigmentation. Like I said, I really have to do some research on that, man, to give you a real answer. I haven't really seen no albino pit bulls in the game dog world. I seen a whole bunch of white pit bulls. And like I said, brothers, may show me some pictures of some of them. But albino, I would say white albino would be, you kind of your whitish, your creamish color dogs with your reddish color eyes. It ain't gonna be no black eyes, not no blue eyes. It's gonna have to be like something different to make you notice an albino. Blue eyes is gonna tell me it may have some husky in them. All right, now I missed out saying that because them boys dog got them blue eyes too. Let me stop saying it for y'all get me on talking about that boys dogs for 2 months. Do they got husky in them? I tell you what, them blue eyes. Most time they say eye come out like that is a deformity, something wrong with your dogs when your eyes come out certain colors. But them huskies, when they got the husky gene in it, they throw blue dogs. If you can breed a husky in your dog 40 years later and that blue eye gene in it, it might throw out a blue eye dog. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, man. I don't know. We'll talk about that on a whole nother episode. how close is them boys dogs to them huskies? And the boys brothers gonna get me. I'm leaving the boys alone, man. The boys I've been lost damn 15 subscribers fucking around with that shit. Oh yeah, man. I know some great white dogs out there. I know them white dogs don't be deaf like that. You get them off a certain certain breedings. You get them off of certain breedings, but just say them albino stuff is real rare in pit bulls. You might see that stuff in them. You might see an albino color dog in like your Doberman pictures and stuff like that. I don't really see them in pit bulls. I'm not gonna say, because once once you start talking about something, you see a boatload of them throughout the week. But I see more stuff like albino Rottweiler, albino snakes. You don't really see no albino pit bulls. Hey Vernon, which one you was talking about? You say seen a few off Hackman, as did Champion Blue Dog. Yeah, when it come to albino, I think that ain't nothing you can really, unless you really actually got two albino dogs. I don't even really think you'll get a whole litter of that type of stuff. I don't know, man. I could be, like I said, I could be wrong. I'm quite sure that it'd be real costly to have a dog like that, because that type of stuff will have health problems. Not a white dog, but an albino dog. What Red Leash? What's going on? Big salute to you, my brother. Hey, Red Leash, I told you, man, them boys dog is they gonna take me out if I start talking about that. Where that blue eye come from? Hey, yeah, man, them some great dogs. Like them brothers say, if husky in it, they put a whole lot more husky in it. And that only real bulldog is gonna feel that, because them boys who take that literally, they be out there trying to do some bullshit and right here with them bootleg damn balls dogs. Oh, look at his eyes. Only going by is his eyes. They done bred him with a damn husky. Yeah, I know he got blue eyes. Yes, sir, man. Appreciate it, Red Leash. Thank you, man. I appreciate and rock with all the brothers, man, and sisters that be listening and rocking with the base. Some brothers and sisters don't be in the chat. You just listen, like I always say, going about your day, driving truck, cleaning the house, just shooting some balls, shooting your 50 shots from the line, got your headphones on, taking your shots, but you still listening. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man, I seen more albinos when it come to Dobermans in modern day time than pretty much probably any other breed, tell you the truth. You see a albino Doberman without even looking for it. Just looking up all the colors of the Dobermans, and you'll stroll across an albino one without even typing in albino. But you won't do that with pits. Hey, but I'm telling y'all, man, I ain't seen nobody post a picture lately. But I'm telling you, I seen a picture that somebody posted when they was first making them pocket, them fluffy pocket, what do you call them fluffy Frenchies? Them fluffy Frenchies, when they was first making them dogs. Somebody posted a picture on Facebook with a fluffy pit bull dog, and I'm telling you, that motherfucker looked good. That motherfucker was shaped like your athletic looking pit bull, nice leg, gang, looked good, and he had a little fluff, like he had a little beard coming up under his chin right there, had some hair right there, and some hairs like in different parts of his body. Look like he might have been shaved or something. Look like they may have gave him a haircut or some shit like that. Man, that motherfucker looked good, boy. I ain't gonna lie to you, boy. I ain't gonna lie to you. I said it'd be a matter of time for them designer breeders. They'd be done created the fluffy pit bull out there. But the pit probably don't got enough money. They probably ain't enough money in the pit bull game for them to do that. They'd be selling them fluffies for $500. Okay, Street Rossi. Street Rossi got them questions today, man. Street Rossi say, let's see here. I do a lot of treadmill work with this process with the Canario. All right. Took them to the vet. What did he say about his paws, Street Rossi? You got to lighten up on the treadmill work with his paws. Take him on the concrete, walk him on the concrete a lot, and that make his paws a little rougher, and then keep you some the stuff that we was talking about to heal his paws up. There's different things you can get from the feed stores. Some of it is the blue coat. You have the some of it look like Vaseline or something that you put on the paws and heals the paws up. They even got footies that you can buy now, man. Back in my days, I would take a sock and I just take some gray tape and put that sock on the dog foot and tape it around his leg so it won't fall off, and he had that sock on his foot. But now they make footies for the dog. You can just order a set of footies from Amazon and slide right on your dog foot. And that way, if you do a lot of that treadmill stuff, it'll save his pads. You know what I'm saying? And that's good for when you're going walking in any of that type of stuff. It's 2025, man. You're liable to see a dog wearing anything when you walk through the streets these days. You know what I'm saying? I had a Patriot hoodie for one of my dogs back in the day. Matter of fact, it was the one that I had off Nitro that you see in the intro, the dog Nitro, his little mate brother, Little Man. I bought him a New England Patriot hoodie. Had him walking around with that joint. And I had some old jerseys and shit for him too as well. Six Dog, what's going on with your big dog? Yeah, that tough pad, Street Rossi, that tough pad, man. And no, you never gonna get a good workout from your dogs when the pad's hurting. And for brothers down south that do a lot of walking, maybe near sidewalks and stuff like that, you have to pay attention to them sand spurs, man. I find that gets my dog more than anything. With the walking that I do, sand spurs, you'll see them, they'll start limping, and just go down there and go all between his toes and pull them things out. It happens all the time, man. It happens all the time. But yeah, Street Rossi, man, my thing, with me, my main thing, I take my dogs and walk on the street and stuff like that. It don't happen overnight. It's nothing that can happen overnight. And even after you do that, if you run the dog on the treadmill too much, you're gonna automatically, it's gonna wear and tear on his pads. That's the main thing. You got to pay attention to that, and then pay attention to your heel up time. If you see your dog pads getting sore and tender and stuff, you gotta ease back off that stuff. And this is the thing you got to think about. If you wear your dog pads out to the point where where he can't limp, that means you're taking away the walking exercise as well. Not only are you taking away the treadmill part, but he can't walk as much because he's gonna be limping everywhere you go at. And he's gonna be drawing all kind of unwanted attention to your dog. People gonna be thinking you fighting your dog and you didn't even fighting them. So it's best to just keep looking at it and staying on point with the dog as far as him head to toe when you put them on the mill. Same way we say you gotta pay attention to their fingernails when you pulling them on and off the treadmill. And even dogs that walking on the street, it helps in that as well, because your dog cuts his fingernails naturally by walking on the street, shortens the fingernails up more naturally than they would if he's just a dog on the dirt all the time. So you take him off that dirt, he on dirt all the time, and you put him on that treadmill, he got them long claws, they get trapped up in them tracks a lot, and it hurt his foot. When you're walking him on the street, that shaves his nails down, and it helps his paws at the same time. You know what I'm saying? That's why I say about that street work, man. You get so much benefits from that street work compared to mill work that it's unreal, man. Just to walk and get that fresh air and build up you could build up a natural second wind easier on a treadmill, especially if I'm not a treadmill on road work, and especially if you really not, how can I put it? When you're learning on it and you're not familiar with everything and you're just trying to figure out some things, you can really teach a dog how to build up a second wind by doing road work. When that treadmill, you might ruin the dog with it. Oh, I told you, I tell brothers, I can't just, like brothers say, don't just tell the good, tell the bad with the good. I tell the bad, right? I blew a dog head gasket on the treadmill. I blew his head gasket, middle of the summertime, on my back porch, palm trees all around, shade on the back porch, chilling, $5,000 treadmill. Blew the damn dog head gasket. He couldn't cool off. I couldn't cool him off, rather. He was just running, and it probably wasn't no more than 30 minutes, but it was hot, and I was showing off my neighbors next door. Let them see that dog running full throttle on my meal. And shit, when it's time to get off, I couldn't cool them down. Couldn't cool them down, man. $2,500 going down the drain right there. You know what I'm saying? Them treadmills, you got to know what you're doing when you get up there. It may seem like it's just open and shut case, but I mean, you know, you're gonna do a lot of damage to your dog up there. You know how many brothers that let their dog keep running on the treadmill that he done tore a ligament, he done pull a muscle or something, and you want to keep pushing him. Oh, he gotta run. You ain't even you thinking that little limp he doing is just some old bullshit limp, and you pushing him. And he done tore a ligament. You know what I'm saying? Tore MCL or something. I ain't sure exactly which muscles they got, but they got muscles just like you got in your leg, the same way. They could tear Achilles back there or something like that. You know. Big Saw, he ain't never recover, man. He ain't never recover. Hey, Big Saw, I made it my business, Big Saw. No matter what shit you talk to me, I ain't gonna talk no more trash to you. You know, you just want me to talk trash to you. And I know you probably don't take it serious, but I ain't talking no more trash to you until you catch me on one of them days where I'm just flipped all the way out. You know, but he ain't ever recovered. I screwed that dog there up, man. I screwed that one up. Great dog was in the hands of a person that didn't know what they was doing at the time. You know, and I knew what I was doing with the dogs. But shit, when it came to that actual dog and what I was doing that day on that particular machine, I made a move that showed clearly that I didn't know what I was doing. You know, it was hot, but it wasn't too hot on my porch. But I underestimated how hot that dog was getting, being that he was working hard for me. He was working hard, and you know, I ain't had no bait in front of him, no nothing. He was just running. He wanted them dogs just run on it. So, you know, when I taking him down, he breathing and panting and breathing, and I'm trying to cool him off, and shit, nothing I did at the time worked. And I sat there beside him till he died, trying to cool him off. He probably died in probably about 15, 20 minutes, something like that, maybe 30 minutes. But I learned from that mistake. You can bet your bottom dollar on that. That was the most costly mistake I made on that when it comes to a treadmill. That cost me $5,000. That one mistake cost me $5,000 because I lost a dog that I paid $2,500 for, and then when that happened, I turned around that same day and went and spent $2,500 on his little mate brother. So I ended up losing $5,000 of my mistake. Now, when it come to ruining them dogs, I ruined them when I was a teenager. When it come to ruin them, as far as the actions I put them in and taking them out there bullshitting with them. Now, I ruined them when I was probably about 15, 16, 17. But and even a little bit older than that, maybe. But I started getting a little more knowledge on what to do and certain things and knowing what to take out and what not to take out as in my young 20s, early 20s and stuff like that. 19 and stuff like that. Like I said, when I was 17, 16, 17, 18, 17, I was dealing with crossroad them. 18, 19, we were dealing with crossroad them. The situation that happened with him happened like in 04, 03, 04. So I would have been like in my early 20s then. I knew him for probably about a good 15 years by the time that happened. And like I said, it was only a blessing at that age. Not even, some brothers will say, we'll put color and all kind of stuff in the situations. I'm a black brother. It's a blessing that at that age, somehow or another, that's why I tell y'all brothers, when it come to a dog, we couldn't smell it. I mean, it couldn't be around if we couldn't. We could smell any pit bull that was within 50-mile radius. You know what I'm saying? At that age, because you just want to see dogs. You know what I'm saying? So shit, man. Just is what it is. Yes, sir. I'm gonna drop that link down in the chat as well. Again, man, in case anybody want to come up. Hope everybody had a good, safe 4th of July, man, because we seen as well on the social media what been going on with the brother over there in LA. Blew his hand off. You know what I'm saying? Hey, man, it's crazy. It's crazy. You know, and the thing about it, just like I heard one of the brothers on YouTube say, everybody and their mama gonna say he's spoken on himself. You know, you walking around the store saying you're gonna blow somebody up, you're gonna blow somebody up, and then you end up blowing yourself up. You know, everybody gonna say he's spoken on himself. And I'm gonna tell you this really honest truth, man. This the honest truth. You know, and this is one. I ain't no tough man, but I seen situations. I've been through situations. You know, when that dude Forex jumped on 607 I say that's what you call overplaying your power. When you got brothers that try to scream on brothers that is not really trying to be street with you, everybody knows 607 got some comedy with them. You know what I'm saying? For a brother like that to try to bull up on him and acting like you're gonna fight him and talking down on him like that, when he did that, I knew it was a matter of time. You know, it's a matter of time for people like that, bumping to the right person. You don't treat people like that. You know what I'm saying? Especially when this man ain't in the streets like you, but you in the streets, and then you in your hometown and you trying to bore up on him and stuff. Hey, God don't like ugly. None of us may be living right, but he don't like ugly. And he blew his hand off. They say he blind, and they say he blew half his homeboy head off with the M80s. And I just told my brother the other day, we were speaking about the M80s. I say, man, we used to shoot them shits back in the days, but all they do is go boom. All they do is go bow. There ain't no pretty colors in the sky, none of that shit. We used to put them shits up on the 5-gallon buckets and trash and mailboxes and stuff like that and blow them up. You know what I'm saying? But that was back in the days, man. Now they got all this high-tech stuff that these brothers shooting in the air, these Roman candle things, man. I wouldn't even waste my money on no damn M80, man. Them shits ain't no fun to look at. They just loud as hell. The fuck you gonna go do with an M80, man? Bah! Shit loud. You might as well shoot a gun in the air. You get more excitement off shooting your damn gun. You know what I'm saying? Hey, them M80s are better known. Some folk call them a quarter stick of dynamite or quarter sticks. You know what I'm saying? And then it's really a difference between quarter sticks and M80s. Quarter sticks is what it is, quarter sticks. And you can't just go buy them out no firecracker store. You gotta have a connect to get that type of stuff. Somebody in the hood or something will have them kind of firecrackers. You know what I'm saying? But the thing about it, whatever he had, it was either rigged to blow up on him or it was a bad firecracker. Because they don't blow up that fast. Even with the stems as short as the ones he had, you can get away from them. Either one he had was meant to blow up on him, or there was some bad work. But you don't wish no bad like that on nobody, man. But sometimes you just gotta watch what you say, because you can speak all that stuff into existence. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to anything, and even the positive stuff, you speak all that stuff into existence. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna happen for anybody. For whatever you're doing, whatever your goals is, speak that shit into existence. Make that shit happen. But yeah, man. I just wanted to touch on a few things, you know what I'm saying? When it came to that Carver stuff, man. Oh, I do want to touch on this, man. Cause I see something, we got some brothers across this community that's bringing personal business to this dog community. That's why I tell brothers, man, I can't respect a lot of these young brothers the way they move because you bring personal stuff to this dog community. That's why I told brothers once before, I don't care if Mr. Bobby Hall like this or like that. You know what I'm saying? Because that's his personal business. What this man like or what his preference is his personal business. What he did outside of all that stuff, that's their personal business. The dogs is all I'm caring about. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, and when I see, some of these brothers, speak about what they got going on personally or what them and another brother got going on personally, what should be kept back streets, Some things supposed to be kept back streets. You ain't supposed to bring everything to the internet. You know what I'm saying? Uh, and that's the thing, when a brother trusts in you, especially when brothers trust in you to keep it real like that. You know what I'm saying? You don't take stuff like that to the internet. When you do stuff for folk, you do stuff for folk because you want to do stuff for folk. You know what I'm saying? Um, if you gotta go to the internet about certain things, then now I'm gonna say it like this real. When it come to me and my dogs and stuff, that's different. If you want to come to the internet about something like that, that's different. Because I'm up here about dogs and I'm talking dogs and selling dogs or whatever. How that's different. I ain't talking about that. But I'm talking about if one brother have an agreement with another brother and the agreement don't go right, and then you decide to take it to this dog shit and it don't got nothing to do with dogs, man. That shit ain't right, man. You know what I'm saying? That's it's too much of that shit in the dog game today. And too many brothers that will sit there and vibe off of it and, oh man, yeah, F him, this and that. And you ain't even supposed to be conversating about this type of stuff in this community. But I mean, yeah, different, like I always say, different folks, different strokes, different folks, man. King Scrooge in the building. What's going on with your big dog? Tony, man, I ain't sure if I shout out yet already, Tony, man, but big salute to you. Appreciate you rocking with the Bay, man. This hit my brothers up on this good old Sunday, man. Uh, Dealing with these dogs, I'm quite sure everybody can, probably had this in common. Dogs going crazy because of them firecrackers, man. It's 2 days them dogs hate in the year. It's New Year's and 4th of July. Other than that, they gonna chill all year long. New Year's and 4th of July, them dogs do not play, man. And can you imagine how loud that shit is to them? Because it's loud to us. You might hear something like, damn, that shit loud. And you imagine how loud it is to them? Man. And can you imagine how strong the gunpowder smoke is from the firecrackers and all that stuff when the dogs smell that compared to, because we can smell all that stuff when we out there shooting and stuff. So just imagine what it does to their nose. The old school saying, back in the days, they tell you to let your dog eat gunpowder and sniff gunpowder to make them mean and all that type of shit. I got to talk to some of my old school brothers to see if that worked. I ain't going to say it never worked. I'm just going to say I ain't from the area that did it. I'm from the area that we start saying, man, I ain't going to try that. I ain't going to kill my dog. You know what I'm saying? But they used to say that, man, hot sauce and gunpowder. You want your dogs to be mean. Now, that might make your dog flip out, no? You're like, what the hell you feeding me? About to bite this motherfucker. Every time he come close to me, feeding me some shit like this. But maybe somebody know why they say gunpowder makes them mean or something like that. And when they say mean, do they mean people mean? Did they mean people mean or did they mean dog mean? Because most likely everybody that you heard that from, they meant people mean. They didn't mean dog mean, but I'm not gonna say they know what it was meaning. I'm thinking it was meaning people mean. You want to make them people aggressive. But yeah, man, if it don't take your dog out, you gonna definitely have some diarrhea. If it don't take your dog out, he gonna definitely have some diarrhea. Man, listen, man, I done tried it. I ain't tried much of it. I tried the burnt shoe one time. I tried to see if the burnt shoe would work. Burn a shoe and use that to feed him. I guess you feed it to him and in his food or something and help with mange and stuff like that. I done told you about the burnt motor oil. I done told you my episode with that. Froze one solid overnight. Put that burnt motor oil on them in the wintertime. Man, shit. Next day, that motherfucker was stiff. And I can't really say the motor oil did it, but he didn't pass away until the motor oil got on him. He wasn't gone the day before. He was, his skin was messed up, but he wasn't, he was there. That's them old school remedies, man. You lose some money and some dogs fucking right now. That old school stuff, boy. The price is too. I believe I'm gonna stick with the vet because the price is a little too expensive these days for me to use them old school remedies, boy. You be done lost a $3,000 dog because you don't want to spend $50. Oh yeah, street rossi. That's why you gotta. A lot of times we underestimate a lot of things, man. When it comes to a lot of things, we underestimate. Like you said, when it comes to them dogs in the military, just imagine all the stuff that them dogs hear, and they gotta stay straight focused, stay straight, steadfast, ready to. When you say game, that's game. This motherfucker here bazookas, bombs, motherfucker damn M16s, AR-15s, anything you can hear. I mean, anything you can shoot. Explosive devices on the ground, IED, what do you call them? IEDs. This dog here, all that shit, and got to maintain focus through all that shit. That's why when them dogs retire and it's time to come home, it's best for them to go with they partners because they making new programs now where them brothers can adopt them when they come home. But back in the days, especially like the Vietnam, man, it was so many dogs that just got put down because once they did their job, they couldn't bring them back home, and they weren't trying to bring them back home. They just considered them material, like army material, just like the M16. You just a dog, When we done with it, put the M16 up, just leave the dog over there. But they're doing it a little different now. And can you imagine how that dog would be that been through that type of stuff? You know what I'm saying? A dog that been through that type of stuff, and now 4th of July come around, you gotta do some kind of special thing to kind of make sure that he locked down to the point where he not getting back into that zone. He can't be outside in no cage or nothing like that because he gonna flip out. Now, can you knock a dog? Can you knock a dog that flips out and bites somebody that he wouldn't normally bite, maybe in the family, after that situation happens? 4th of July kickoff, he's from the military, and now it spooks him. It don't spook him. It just sent him into that zone. It definitely ain't spooking him. So when they get rid of them dogs, they really give them to the right people and the people that know how to handle them kind of dogs in them situations. Most of the time, it be the military brothers and brothers that it was in them situations. Now, when it come to worming a dog, street rossi, and the old school remedies, I'm gonna say this: I think them old school remedies could have worked more with the worming because worms is nothing but a parasite in the stomach. So a lot of that stuff will probably kill the worms. It's just how healthy a lot of them old, even the stuff that I was calling out, the burnt shoe and no, all that stuff may work, but it just what kind of harm it does to the dog at the same time. When they say it cured mange, it probably cured the brother's mange back in the early 1900s, and they passed it on down to everybody else. But he didn't tell, how many brothers used that. Out of 100 brothers that used it, how many people dogs did it actually cure? Maybe only cured one person dog. And now you got the whole country doing it off one dog out of 100 it worked for. So it's really the damage that it do to the dogs, really, because it may help, but it's just the damage. Yeah, man. Let me drop that link down there. Yeah. Tony made a good point right here. Tony made a good point. Over the years, things change. Them brothers motor oil back in the days might not be like our motor oil is during them times when I did it. You know what I'm saying? The gunpowder back in the days when they used the gunpowder may not have been like the gunpowder back, when my days when I go pop a 9mm shell open and try to use that. You know what I'm saying? It may be a certain gunpowder, maybe the black gunpowder that we don't even use in our bullets, period, that they use in the musket type guns. That once you tell a story, sometimes the story get changed up a little bit. And just so happened, as the story went on over the years, they forgot to tell us that they ain't talking about that gunpowder. They talking about black gunpowder, black powder. Who knows, man? And something else I mentioned at the beginning, man. Now that I got a few more brothers in here, the brother Samurai has mentioned about the AKC said they needed like 300 and something, I guess, pit bull brothers or sisters with these dogs. And like I said, I'll find out more information on it. But make a long story short, it seems like they need 300 people to say this is the dog, this is what their dog was coming off of, showing a lineage coming back off that dog. And if that's all you need to recognize a dog, whether you want to compete with that show or not, you never have to put your dog in the AKC show. But it's about being recognized as a breed. Just like it's monumental things that happen in history. Just like when they first got Mr. Kobe got his dog be recognized. Oh, this is the standard of the pit bull. What UKC said, this is the standard, or ADBA said this is the standard. It's monumental things that happen throughout history, and that's got to have to be one of them. It don't matter if you compete in the shows or not. I understand. I'm starting to get a little more, let it settle in on me. Like they say, a pit bull is a blanket term, but I'm just used to saying pit bull is a pit bull. You know what I'm saying? If they want to say it's a blanket term, then I gotta start saying like, let people know the pit bull and the American pit bull terrier is two different dogs. We got American pit bull terriers, but the pit bull, and we got a pit bull as well. But the pit bull is a blanket term which covers about 20 damn dogs now. So it's gonna be something that we may need to look into, man. And like I said, we don't have to compete in the shows, and some brothers and sisters may want to compete in it. And the brothers that went here when we were speaking about it, keep in mind, AKC, they seem to like to take away the working ability in these dogs. So we already complaining about, these brothers go to show, they ain't breeding for what we breeding for. They ain't breeding for what we breeding for. And when AKC get hold to you, when they get hold to the dogs, they gonna definitely take that working ability out them dogs. That they at least, like I said, they're gonna want that dog to not be aggressive. You're gonna have your Eli dogs, your Red Boy Jocko dogs, your Bolio dogs, whatever crosses, but they're gonna walk around that ring with whatever other bulldogs out there in the working dogs section. And that's another thing. What would we have them classified as? Because right now it's not a breed. That means we can get our dogs classified as whatever we want to classify them as, because they was classifying them as non-working dogs. You know what I'm saying? They was classifying the bulldogs as non-working dogs if you go in the encyclopedia, but our dogs is working dogs. So if we classify them as working dogs, and if they was in them shows, then they would have to compete against all them dogs in that classification. Or they may just go against, I don't know. I just know it's something to look into, man. If brothers want to make this breed official when it comes to those folk. A lot of brothers, a lot of pit bull brothers will say to hell with them. Hell with what they think. You know what I'm saying? They never made a dog brother. Ain't gonna never make a dog brother at the end of the day. Oh, well, let me show y'all this little bit of news real quick, folks. And we're gonna keep on talking. Let me show you this little bit of news. We got a brother who got a UPS brother got attacked by, they say, a pit bull. I want to say in Georgia, but I could be mistaken. Hold up.
He was released from the hospital today with multiple stitches and staples.
The result of a U.S. UPS driver being attacked by 3 pit bulls. The DeKalb County Sheriff's Office responded to a report of a dog bite incident at a home on State Road 1 in Hamilton, Indiana yesterday. As the victim has been released from the hospital today with stitches, WANE 15's Courtney Grimm joins us with more on how this all unfolded. Courtney.
Well, Taylor, this started as one UPS worker, Tyler Cool, delivered a package to a residence where he was then met with 5 pit bulls, 3 of which attacked him. The incidents occurred at 107 State Road 1 in Hamilton, Indiana. That's where deputies found Mr. Cool with multiple bite wounds to the head, arms, and abdomen. According to the DeKalb County Sheriff's Office, Mr. Cool says that he was trying to run away as he was then bitten in the back of the leg, causing him to fall. 2 additional dogs then began to bite him until the attack stopped after their owner started yelling at the dogs. Mr. Cool was then transported to a nearby hospital to receive treatment and has since been released. This incident remains under investigation and a decision regarding criminal charges has not yet been made.
The investigation is still ongoing, so we have not determined whether or not what that's going to look like with charges. What we'll do is compile a report, talk with the victim, talk with the dog owner, and eventually turn the report over to the prosecutor's office for any potential charges that may come of it.
Maria Ditmore was determined the owner of the dogs and has provided documents confirming their vaccines. Since then, she has voluntarily surrendered the 3 dogs to Fort Wayne Animal Care and Control. FWACC says those 3 pit bulls were humanely euthanized per the request of Ms. Ditmore. They say since it was not under their jurisdiction, they were allowed to complete this due to Ditmore signing the dogs over to them, requesting euthanasia and paying for the services.
Part of being a responsible pet owner is being willing to make those tough decisions, even if it means that they have to humanely euthanize their own pets. It's hard, and so many people think that there's these magical farms out there that you can just put an aggressive dog out there and they can live out their life. Those unicorn homes do not exist, and if they do, they're few and far between. So she was a responsible pet owner by bringing them in and making that tough decision.
FWACC says that every bite should be reported no matter the incident. So to learn the details on how to report it and more resources, you can head to WANE.com. Courtney Grimm, WANE 15 News.
Oh yeah, now Carlos said AKC didn't recognize as pure back in the days. He'd like to know why that was, and that's a good question, man. Especially when the dogs were established as a pretty much a purebred dog at that time. We know they came from 2 different dogs, like any other dog did. You know, that's the only way you can make them. But I did read that AKC, no, they never recognized it. They call their dog staffs to stay away from the stigma that was with the pit bulls, you know, far as the fighting wise, the fighting name. So they call them staffs. You know. But the thing is, if I call AKC right now and try to register my dog up, ADBA registered as a staff, I wonder if they're gonna let me do it as a Staffordshire right now today. You know, and this the thing, you know, when it comes to, okay, this is a staff. Now I want to take them to a show. Now, my staff don't look like none of the staff that you see in the AKC show. My staff might look like a Eli dog, or my staff might look like a yellow dog or a Jeep dog, but they don't look like a staff, what we call a staff in modern day time. You know, so they'll have to really go back to the drawing board and recognize the pit as its own breed, man. And it is, dog. There's no way these new modern breeders can come out with these new bullies and all this stuff and get some of these dogs recognized. You know, even the Dutch Shepherd. You know, I think AKC is recognizing the Dutch Shepherd now, if I'm not mistaken. That's another breed that wasn't getting recognized by AKC up until modern day time. You know, and you know, that's a very important, man. If you can get that breed recognized, you know, that's very AKC. You stepping into another level of the ball game. I'm gonna tell you what I'm gonna say like this right here, right? You know, we talking about real endorsements, Nike. We talking about endorsements like that type of stuff. We talking about dog on TV commercials. You know what I'm saying? We talking about big bank when we win these shows. Big bank. With not just one show, but you got your dog got to be a champion. If you feel like your dog a champion, he a champion on any grounds. You know what I'm saying? So if he make it to the champion league and the champion level, when you're dealing with them type of folk, and this is the thing about it. We may have the advantage because of the fact that nobody in that world is used to seeing our dogs in that light. So imagine them seeing a well-built, well-acting pit bull doing the same things they dog was doing. You know what I'm saying? I can easily see that bringing the trophy home multiple years. And there's no way a breed of dogs can be bred for 100-some years and you don't consider them one breed of dogs. And it really because they don't got enough pit bull owners that's gonna stand up, not in the community meetings, but stand up like and to the registries and stuff like that. And it's like the brother said, you only need 300 and some people. Man, it's millions of people with these dogs that be talking trash on a daily, or be talking about dogs on a daily across the world. I bet you over there in Europe, I bet you can check it out, Google it yourself. Guarantee over there in Europe, them brothers got shows to deal with outside of ADBA and stuff like that. Like top dollar shows. And this is another thing, man. This is what we're gonna have to, a lot of brothers gonna have to get this in their head. I'm just saying like this right here, right? Because we look at that ADBA like it's the top echelon when it comes to the dog shows and stuff. And a lot of brothers that compete in these shows, you may start competing in other shows as well. So a brother that compete in the ADBA show and you score high over there, and you go on another show, you be like, say you're going on a show that's not as popular as the ADBA show, like maybe I'm gonna make up one, the DTP show, and it's not as popular as that show. You're gonna be like, oh, well, that don't matter to me. This the thing, man. Just like Turkey Al-Sheikh came and he stepped and put his foot down in that boxing game. You're gonna listen to what I gotta say. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, a ribbon is a ribbon. These brothers want money. These brothers want real recognition with their dogs. You know what I'm saying? You still got to spend $1,000 some dollars to really get recognized in the ADBA in the magazines. You can win all you want to win unless you start winning champion. And now they putting you on the cover and they putting you in there maybe for an article. Other than that, you can go to all the shows you want to go, and then you're gonna still turn around and spend that whole $500 for that half a page or whatever you're gonna spend. So it's about the money with them. You ain't winning no money. You ain't doing nothing but spending money. So when you got a show and you got folk that you going places and you winning money, shit, and you winning the same things they got outside of that, and you got more recognition. Like I said before, a lot of this TV advertisement brothers get with these dogs, that shit $500-$600 a show. But that shit is free. Brothers do things for free. And I'm not talking about nothing I do. I'm just talking about all pit bull brothers that do for everybody dog that brothers be advertising. I was checking out that Crufts one time, Burning Star, trying to see some competitions that I could probably compete in that Crufts stuff. I like them events the Crufts be doing. That's what made me start looking at it, seeing what the world got to offer instead of, or is Westminster the biggest show around when it comes to the show? And that's when I found out Westminster wasn't the biggest. It was the World Dog Show. And if I ain't mistaken, like I said, Google it yourself, anybody. But I'm almost certain that the World Dog Show accepts pit bulls. Oh yeah, man. If a pit bull can get into Westminster and win, it's gonna be popular across America on a level that pit bull brothers never seen before. But it's gonna have a lot of haters as well. You know, and the haters is gonna sit back and be miserable. Why I say like the brother gonna see things you never thought you would see with your dog, man. Your dog gonna open doors that never could be opened before because you're doing the right things with them. See, that's what these brothers, they don't want them doors that never been opened before. They want to stay on the same shit, to circulate and doing the same dang old thing over and over and over again. You know what I'm saying? It's just little simple things like that, man, that can help the next brother. See, it might not be none of us in the Westminster, right? But we can sit here and act like we ain't hear what that brother said about it take 300 people to get this thing started. And we can let this thing go for another 50, 60 years, right? Or we can do something about it between now and the next five years or however long it take. And then somebody else after that, one of these other younger brothers, you know, come up and they're able to compete in these events. And they get out there and do something with the dogs. You know what I'm saying? And the only way you can do it, man, is somebody gonna have to break that barrier to get them dogs registered as one breed. And you can't tell me there's not one breed when you got brothers. If you go up to them and say, "Let me breed this dog right here with your dog," they gonna say, "You got papers on him?" Man, that dog ain't full blooded. Brother gonna walk away from you and say, "Man, that dog ain't full blooded." So when brothers doing that, the dog is a breed. It's just outcasted by America. You know, the dog is an official breed. You know, whether it's the pit bull terrier or the pit bull, that ain't my argument. But the dog itself is an official breed. It's just ousted by America. So it really, it's a lot of politics involved with it, you know. But you can't. I'm gonna say it like this: you can't do nothing if you don't start it. You know what I'm saying? You can't say what AKC gonna or wouldn't do if you don't try it and start it, and brothers get out there and try to do it. You know what I'm saying? You, of course, you know, back in the days, you didn't have brothers. Brothers didn't care whether it was recognized or not. You know, they didn't have to care back in them days. The same way the brothers back in the early 1900s didn't care if they kept the shit full-blooded or not. All they wanted was a fighting dog. It didn't matter if we mixed Rottweiler, Doberman, German Shepherd, or whatever we mixed in with it. If it was a fighting dog, and the brothers in the 1900s specifically, they didn't care about keeping no purebred dogs. At least that's what research says. The early brothers, they didn't care about that junk, you know. And that's what make brothers like Mr. Colby, Mr. Tudor, Mr. Lightner, Mr. All them brothers, that's what make them even more important because they did care about it. And they kept these dogs bred up the way we wanted them bred, you know. Oh, yeah, man. Oh, yeah. It's definitely overdue with the dogs. You know what I'm saying? It's going to get to the point where we have to start having, you know, go to a brother. I'm telling you, you can go to any brother, right, that's not real familiar with dogs, right? And you sit down with them and pull out 5 pictures. All 5 of them pictures, none of them pit bulls. You can have a XL bully. You can have a nice chunky bully. And, you know, some mixed breed German Shepherd with some boxer type dog or something like that. And I guarantee you, he'll say every last one of them pit bull. You know what I'm saying? And that's just the thing, man. That's what gets us, the brothers who really got pit bulls. That's what gets on our nerves when we hear that type of shit. You know, when we get an article that a pit bull attacked somebody, and we making it, we may don't give a crap about a bully, but when we see a dog we know is mixed breed, you know what I'm saying, and it's not a pit bull, and you still call it a pit, man, come on, man. Only with that particular breed does that work with, you know. But like I said, y'all better keep that in mind. What Don Mayfield said about them Carver dogs, and why you getting them dogs with them 3 legs, and them dogs that's freaks and all kind of stuff like that. When you try to breed that them Carver dogs real tight. Now, next thing we can see, y'all give me a pedigree of a modern day Carver dog. That line bred, strictly line bred off straight Carver dogs, modern day time. Not saying it exists. I'm just saying I don't know it. So give me the pedigree or the dog so I can look it up without wasting a week worth of trying. Man, that's when you dealing with AKC Westminster shows. First of all, you know, you got to win a whole bunch of other shows just to be invited and just to make it to the Westminster. You got to win all your shows throughout the country. You know, be like them brothers say, them champion dogs. You know, the Westminster is not going to even be equivalent to the Nationals. The Westminster is going to be your elite of the elite. You know what I'm saying? The ones who win the Nationals, say we win the Nationals. We got one dog who win the Nationals this year. We gonna keep him. The dog who win the Nationals next year, we gonna keep them. Them gonna be the ones that made the Westminster. You know, if we had our version of Westminster. You know, so when you make that, you already, once your dog make Westminster, he already gonna be a dog that's known in the city, a dog that's known in your state. You know what I'm saying? He gonna be known. You know. So when you just by you walking in that Westminster with a pit bull, it's gonna be like my man said when he was on the moon, a big leap for mankind. We don't care if you win. Yes, sir, man. But like I said, man, I appreciate all y'all brothers today, man. I ain't gonna keep y'all here too long today. I just want to talk a little bit about them Kobe dogs. I'm not them Kobe, them Carver dogs. The old family red. I pretty much, you didn't really tell me that. You told me the few of them old family red lines now. You told me the lines. The Krieg line, the Wallace lines, the Hip Hill Wilder stuff. Like I said, I had a dog coming down off that Geronimo dog back in the days. Casino Live, what's going on with you, my brother?
Man, what's happening, man?
Ain't too much. How you doing today, man?
I'm doing all right. Trying to stay cool out here in this heat. But,
man, we've been kind of blessed to have a couple cool days. It's been hot, but not hot. About an 80 something.
It been 90. It been 90 all week down here in Georgia. But man, I was listening to what you were saying about the Westminster and things like that. Like I ain't gonna lie, the Westminster do seem cool as hell. But I know I can't do that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like I went to an all breed dog show one time. I mean I ain't get kicked out, but I felt like I had to go. You see what I'm saying?
And like, see, that's the thing. That's the thing. I mean to cut you off. That's what one of the main problems we gonna have, and the only problem I see that we may have is if we keep our dog in full function, full form. They may, you know how they gonna go around that square being calm like that.
And then another thing too about them. Go ahead. Okay.
Now I would say, like you say, you know, feeling out of place. You know, the first people that bring them pits there, they may feel out of place, but you know, we have to look at it like this. Everybody that's in that Westminster show that's dealing with them, they gonna already get the what they call it, the forgot what you call it, like the little announcements and stuff where, oh, the pit bull is coming into the AKC, the pit bull is coming into the AKC. So they'll be hearing about that for a minute. And then when they finally get a chance to see you, whether you black, white, or whoever you is, you know, you're going to have to just represent that dog, man. At the end of the day, you know, whoever the brother is or the sister is, they're just going to have to represent the breed.
Man, out of the dogs I done seen at shows, I would nominate Samurai Dre, his dog named Saki. I have to nominate that dog to represent us because that dog well behaved and he got that dog trained good. You know, I think he can represent us at that. But I was on their channel one day and I was making a suggestion, like I was just throwing out ideas, we brainstorming, you know, because you was talking about like the cash prizes and things like that, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like that if we could get that in the shows that we already got, then I mean me personally, I would rather just stick with the shows that we already got. I just rather make them bigger, you know what I'm saying? Like instead of trying to go to the Westminster, we can have our own Westminster. You know what I'm saying? Like it ain't got to be called that, but you know what I'm saying? Like our own big shit where the dogs is still true to the breed. And the suggestion that I said on Shogun Unlimited channel, I said if the registries do like a monthly dues, like monthly dues and shit. Like, cause I'll be with it. I don't know about everybody else, but I'll be with it. I'll pay ADBA every month if that means that we gonna have prizes and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it ain't even
Oh
gotta
yeah.
be a lot. It could be $20. Imagine everybody who got an ADBA paperwork pay $20 a month. You see what I'm saying? Look how much money
Yep.
that make. You know what I'm saying?
And
That'd be hella money.
yep. But the thing about it, dog, you know, everybody ain't gonna be able to do it because everybody don't compete in shows. It's gonna make people that don't compete have to still pay 20 or whatever. But ADBA make enough money to where a $500 prize, a $1,000 prize wouldn't hurt them, man. For a dog show, they don't have enough dog shows for a $5,000 or $1,000 prize to hurt them. You know, and then you know whether it's the people in the state having a dog show, whether it's the actual Pitbull Club having a dog show, they just never, you know, it was never an option to, you know, to bring money to the process. But this modern day time, man, and this is the thing about it, right? When it comes to the Westminster, we got to keep in mind, right? Say we want to compete against them and we want to do our own thing, which is 100%. I agree with you. But this is what we got to keep in mind. Can we turn to ESPN and our dogs on show? You know, that's the things that, you know, that type of things that Westminster gonna bring to the table when you're dealing with them dogs that's on national TV. And you talking about you competing, you know, we all know how hard it'll be for us to take these dogs that we got and just keep them calm enough, keep them trained enough to do what he got to do to win that show. You know what I'm saying? It takes work. You got to work with your dog. You know, you got to building up a bond and all that type of stuff with them and different things. But the Westminster, we can do it, and I agree with you. We can do it, but it's gonna take more. Like ADBA, it won't take nothing to outdo them because they don't right now. Right now, they don't give more than what that brother give in his shows. Only thing they got is more clientele than what he got with his shows right now. Other than that, if brothers really look at it, they're gonna get more recognition winning from his shows than they is from the ADBA show. You're gonna probably meet more people hand in hand. It's not like meeting somebody face to face, but when you talking about later stuff down on the line, what's this bringing to the table and what's this bringing to the table? You know what I'm saying? All right, bragging rights, ADBA champion. I'm an ADBA champion. Bragging rights. You got bragging rights. That's some hellified bragging rights. Okay, you made a champion over here. You know, bragging rights, and that's where it goes back to me saying we gotta understand that just because it's new, don't make it less valuable. You know what I'm saying? The same way Turkey Island Sheik, them boys created their own belt. They don't worry about the mother belts y'all got going on out that motherfucker. And they got them fighters, the same fighters that y'all was trying to make fight for these belts. They got them fighting for their belt. You know? So it just shows you that you can do your own thing exactly like how you talking about now. We can do our own thing. You know what I'm saying? But in order to take out Westminster, dog, we're going to have support. Same with that brother say we can't get 300 people to go get the AKC, or we're not going to say we can't get it. We're going to say we didn't get it. We haven't got it yet from the brothers in the past. And we just going to say the brothers in the past may not have even checked on it at all. So, you know, they got the benefit of the doubt. You know, but if we can't get 300 people, man, we definitely can't compete with the Westminster. We talking, like I say, Nike contract. We talking your dog got a Nike sponsorship. Your dog got a Campbell soup sponsorship. Your dog on this kind of commercial over here selling these dog food. These dog doing this. Now he in a movie. He in a movie doing something like this. You know, off top, if you could take your pit bull around all these dogs and he act up till he bring that ribbon home, man, you know that dog gonna make movie roles. He'll get movie roles. What dog recognition, dog fight recognition is better than any of that type of shit? Nothing, man. Period. Yeah. That's real life living. Your dog surviving. That's when your dog come home and he really part of the family.
Man, it's real ways to. I mean, I know. I feel what you're saying. Like it's hard to get that national coverage that the Westminster thing got going on. But what I can say is that YouTube is a powerful thing, bro.
Oh yeah.
And also if we get some money in a pot for something like that, bro, we can have that shit getting broadcast. Like I think more people watch YouTube than goddamn ESPN. You know what I'm saying? So if we can get major platforms just to even if the registry pay, somebody can even call.
You
Man,
broke up a little bit on me just now, dog.
hold on. You can hear me now? Hold up.
Oh yeah, I can hear you good.
You can hear me now?
Yep, yep.
All right, yeah. Now I'm riding through these back streets. But hold on. Let me park right quick. Let me park right quick. But what I was saying is like I feel like YouTube is such a big platform. It's all gonna take a strategy, and we might not be on national news or ESPN, but we can make an impact so big that it's where we still can feel proud about what we did. You see what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, you right about that, dog. I'm tell you why. You 100% right because you know, like you say, YouTube is a whole different type of platform, man. Look at Jake Paul. Look where he went from YouTube, off of YouTube, and look what he's doing now. You know,
Yeah.
and they would say he can't do what he did. He did that off the strength of YouTube
And that's the
because he
perfect
came with
example.
numbers. He came with numbers.
That's the perfect example. Like you was talking about ESPN, right? And
Yep,
we brought up boxing, right? So
yep.
boxing, they didn't, United States done made a decision that they feel like boxing is too violent. That shit is not on TV no more. It's gonna only be on ESPN to the end of this year. It'll never be on. It's not gonna be on TV. Boxing. You see what I'm saying?
And guess what? Guess what they
What?
about to do? Or at least they'll see them talking about it. Trump talking about he gonna hold a UFC fight at the White House next year, 2026, 4th of July. That what John
Yeah,
Jones will be fighting. John Jones and boys. They ain't made the contract yet, but they talking about it.
exactly. So it show like you really don't need TV to be bigger than TV. Like you like boxing. I feel like it's on the way up, but at the same time they didn't took the shit off the TV. You see what I'm saying?
Oh
But
yeah. Now,
people gonna go find what they interested in. You know what I'm saying?
yep,
And
yep.
I watch the Westminster shows. Man, the shows I go to be way more fun than that. You know what I'm saying? More, I feel like it's a lot of people just be wanting to watch how our dogs act. You know what I'm saying? In an environment where it's controlled, everybody dogs is true to the breed. People really enjoy watching that, and I know that for a fact just off the views. Off the view. Anytime I post anything from the shows, it get crazy numbers. You know what I'm saying? So if
Oh yeah, oh
everybody
yeah.
get on the same shit, and then we put a pot and make it where it's worth it. And then like you were saying about the Westminster, you got to qualify for that shit. Man, imagine if the pig picking, you imagine if you had to qualify to go to the pig picking. You know what I'm saying?
Yep,
Like
yep.
that'll make people compete harder. Like or not even just that show, just any show. You know what I'm saying? Like the Tri-State
Mm-hmm.
National. Imagine if
Yep.
you had to qualify for that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like all we got to do
Oh
is
yeah.
set up one. All we gotta do is set up one where you gotta qualify. And then if we got a pot, if it's a pot involved, that'll bring the people because if you qualify, that means you've been winning pots already. So you just spend a little bit of that money that you don't earn, and then travel to the big show. We
Yep.
just gotta get
Yep.
some money in that shit. As long if we get some money in that shit, bro, that shit gonna start moving, bro. That's it. Like all it's missing is a prize more than the trophies and the ribbons. Like the trophies and the ribbons is cool. I go just because you know what I'm saying I like to go, you know what I mean? But it's some
Oh
people
yeah.
who ain't gonna go unless they getting some money, you know what I mean?
Hey, I'm gonna
So
tell
it's
you, Yellow One said he disagree. All the big YouTubers want a big TV contract. Hey, I agree with you on that to an extent, Yellow One, because I'm gonna tell you now, it's not saying my channel, but it's a lot of YouTube channels that's making more than what brothers get on these TV contracts. And they don't got to go through the contract paperwork to they getting their money straight up. They ain't they making their money, and are they in control of how they do it or what they put out. You can get that TV contract and you under pressure. You got to put out what they want you to put out, how they want you to put it out, and you got to put it out when they want you to put it out. So when you got these brothers up here on YouTube, some brothers, brothers bringing home fucking damn 5 and 6 digits a month. You know what I'm saying? Shit, man.
and shit.
That's why
This
you
is
got
another example.
NBA players, you got NBA players, you got rappers, everybody. See, that's the thing. You got more of everybody else that want to be YouTubers. Then you got YouTubers that want to be TV contracts and stuff like that. Cause we get our money already. And
This is
then
another
everybody
example.
got their amount they getting or whatever they get, and it's always room to grow. Even the brothers who making and then when you start talking about like them big channels, and then the brothers bringing home damn near $100,000 a month, if not more. Or it depends on like that video Shay did with Cat Williams. Man, he brought, like the man brought home millions of dollars off one video. Wow, it didn't you can imagine now, would he want to go sell himself out to just any TV contract? No,
Nope.
man, them boys go to YouTube and get that YouTube money. So, like what you said, we can make our platform bigger. We can get big to the point where we got people all over the world watching these dog shows, all looking at it, tuning in, just like ESPN. We could do all that, but it's gonna take brothers sticking together, brothers put money behind certain things, and it's gonna be more or less. I'm gonna tell you, it's gonna be less of the money and more brothers sticking together doing this shit because it's gonna be more hate involved than a money issue. Everybody got money. Everybody, it's gonna be people trying to throw money and they want to do no work behind it. You know what I'm saying? And you know, got to put that work in, man.
And this is another example too, right? Like, you know, Cameron and Mace, they sports show. Man,
Yep.
that show so popular, it got Sports Center trying to figure out what to do. You see what I'm saying? Like,
Good
and
example. Good example.
and there's no doubt in my mind, bro, that niggas can holler at them, holler at their management, and I guarantee we can get 3 minutes of shine on the top American Pit Bull Terrier on their show, bro. Because the type of people they is, they'll fuck around and put it on there. Like, we might have to pay. You know what I'm saying? Like, or even Gilly and Wallow, man. Niggas probably could pay. Yeah, you know, I'm thinking big, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking big, bro. We could pay Gilly and Wallow to come to the show and cover the shit. That's bigger than the fucking a lot of shit. You know what I'm saying? It's just a lot of shit. It's a lot of shit that can happen. It's just, you know, it's gonna take money and it's gonna take time. You know what I'm saying? But really more money than time, because really, if you get the money, it's like shit'll happen in no time. Because we doing exciting shit. We got some exciting dogs to look at. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Oh yeah.
you know,
Oh yeah. You right about that, dog. You right about that.
yeah, you gotta look at it different. Like, we might can't do it exactly the same way, but we can. It's more than one way to skin a cat. You know what I'm saying? Like, we might, the national news and shit might not never accept us, but shit, like I was saying, Gillian Wallow, like Cameron and Mace, they might get a segment because we got sporting dogs. So if you know what I'm saying, that's a sports channel, we can make that shit work. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like, just even like how Chico Lopez always using boxers to market his shit. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yep.
that's an example. You know what I mean? Like,
Yep.
you know, and I don't agree with everything he got going on, but at the end of the day, he got some good marketing.
Yep. I say that all the time. All the time. The way he market his dogs, no far as like that, you can't knock it.
Yeah,
Can't
man. But
knock
I
it,
just
man.
want to come up here real quick, throw some ideas out there, man. I just got to the crib, man. I'm gonna just keep listening, man. But I just want to throw some ideas on the topic.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Hey, appreciate you coming up here with me too, man. And
For
like I
sure, man.
said, you right about it, man. You know, you gotta, we could do it. You know, it just, will we do it? You know what I'm saying? And it ain't that hard as folk, you know, would make it. You just, you know, you don't got nobody that wanna do the right things.
I'm gonna say this one thing too. When I went to the All Breed Dog Show, the people who was at the show wasn't the ones treating me wrong. It was the people who ran the show. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The people, most, bro, everybody, I probably talked to almost everybody in that motherfucker because they ain't seen no real pit bull in so long that they was just amazed. And niggas was coming up to me straight up, like, you know, our breed came from this. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is the original. Like, niggas is telling people at the show, like, bro, this the original. You feel me? They excited that I'm there. You know what I mean? So people really love these dogs, bro. It's just a lot of misconceptions, a lot of shit. You know what I'm saying? A lot of laws. Like down here in Georgia, you can't even rent a house. You can't rent a house or apartment and have no pit bull at all. So it's like certain shit that they do, it make it where it can't be popular because a lot of people rent. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But if it wasn't for that shit, bro, niggas would still have them. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, it's up to us to reverse what's been done and we can move forward from there. But at the same time, we got to be responsible. Like, it probably ain't a good thing for everybody to have one of these because then it's gonna start being irresponsible ass people getting them, and then it's gonna make everybody else look bad at the same time. So, I mean, popularity come with good things and bad things. Like,
Yep.
it popular, you know, it probably be more money in the breeder's pocket or whatever shit like that, or make the dogs more expensive. But it's gonna be so widespread. Like, imagine, like, you see how people do with them Frenchies. Like, a lot of people, irresponsible people got Frenchies. You know what I'm saying?
But
imagine
see,
if I,
I'm gonna tell you something now. See, when you start talking about like that, when you talk about the pit bull itself, that's when the base price of that dog go up. You know what I'm saying? Know how everybody's selling their dog for certain prices right now? You might sell yours for $250, you might sell yours for $500, he might sell his for $700, $1,000. All right,
yeah,
when them things AKC registered, you know what I'm saying? When you say you look in the newspaper, right, and you look for and you see somebody say, "Oh, we got an AKC pit bull for sale," it's automatically gonna be high. You know, that's when the base price of them dogs gonna automatically shoot up, gonna be high. And then look at it like this right here, right? Everything you said was correct about about the shows and stuff. But imagine going to the Westminster is like, you know, you gonna be the guest appearance. You gonna be the guest. You the newcomer. You what everybody want to see. The moment they let that pit bull in, you gonna be you gonna be the face. You gonna be what, not the face of the show. You gonna be what everybody looking at. The people with the pool, the small dogs and the little pocket teacup dog. Everybody gonna be looking at the new dog that's here, and the dog that they heard about all these years. They looking at this dog. You know, you may get you never get no boos from the crowd because they're not that type of crowd that do. They're not you come into this show, this echelon show. Folk act like somebody. You know what I'm saying? They may not like you. You know what I'm saying? But you're not gonna see all that type of stuff. Far as when I'm saying like people booing you out loud or making you, if you feel uncomfortable, that's only because you're gonna be the only person there with a pit bull or the only people there. But you got to know you got the world looking at you right now, and you representing a large population of people. So you may be uncomfortable. That's gonna be anybody because the swag that we come with these dogs. You know what I'm saying? We come with a hood mentality with these dogs, and you can't bring that hood mentality to the Westminster show. You got to come there to win, that win mentality, but you can't come there thinking, oh, it's gonna be. That type, we coming to a business now. You know what I'm saying? We talking about business type act. We wearing suits and shit to come around this damn motherfucker. Walking that bitch in a circle with a 3-piece on. Or something like some casual clothes or some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? You ain't out here damn, it's kind of a different ball game, man. And like I said, like you said, a key thing, a lot of good and a lot of bad come from everything when you start doing that type of stuff. We may be better off doing what we're doing already. We may be better off with the dogs. You know what I'm saying? But
I feel like if it get popular, as long as everybody make the price high as hell, then we be all right. Because I feel like these are the type of dogs that should be way more expensive than they is, and the reason is because it's like, bro, this shit is it's damn near a weapon. It's like I look at it like if I was to sell some dogs, right? It's like me selling a loaded gun. Like it shouldn't be no reason you should get something this dangerous for cheap. You shouldn't ever, you know what I'm saying? Something that could potentially be this dangerous. I'm not saying
you're right,
though. And that's why it be so much bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Because you can get something this dangerous for that cheap. It's like, bro, that's not how it ain't supposed to go like that, bro. If it's that if it's potentially that dangerous, I'm not saying everybody dog is just, we responsible owners, so we know what we got. But people who ain't responsible might not know what they got. They shouldn't be able to goddamn pull up and get nothing for $500 because they're not gonna even appreciate it the way it should be as a high caliber animal that this is. You know what I'm saying? But if they pay 10,000, if they pay 10,000, they finna read books. They finna before they even get it, they finna read books. They finna do research. They be like, okay, I shouldn't do this. I should do that. They're gonna be trying to figure out how to keep the motherfucker alive. They're gonna really pay attention to that kind of shit. They're gonna be worried about all that shit, bro. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like the dog should be way more expensive than they is, and then that'll clean up a lot of the bullshit.
Only thing about that, we kind of got to work against ourselves because we done got so many of them spread out across the world. It's like so many dogs gonna be spread out, and even if you got some brothers that if we get it with AKC recognize them, you're gonna still have brothers who not even register with them that is gonna register with ADBA or Bonafide or whatever, and so it's gonna be like the dog it's been spread out for the last 30 years. It's been spread out all across the country, so we done kind of effed up on that situation, letting too many people get their hands on them. So you have to really establish, not saying these dogs different or nothing like that, but you have to make a name for them, I guess, man, because at the end of the day, you can go when you go look for any dog that you're trying to buy, you're gonna pay some top dollar for them when you see papers on them and you see them say AKC. It could be any kind of dog. Let it be a bulldog and they say a bull terrier and they say it's AKC registered. Man, you paying a couple $1,000s for that damn dog, at least a couple few $1,000s. You know what I'm saying?
But the thing about it, like I know what you're saying. Like it's been so widespread already, right?
Yep.
But that's why the shows that we doing are so important. And if we make them popular, all them dogs that don't have great confirmation, ain't nobody gonna want that shit anyway. Like as long as the ones that got great confirmation is the face of the breed and the people who own them dogs is taxing, everything gonna be all right, because the ones that don't look like they could win no show, they gonna start, like, you know what I mean? And the thing about the show, them is the same dogs. You know what I'm saying? Like when I go to APDR shows or when I see videos of ADBA shows and stuff, them the same dogs that everybody else got. It's just they just look better. So if you make the ones that look better more popular than the ones, you know what I'm saying? If you make the ones that look better more popular and make them more expensive, that's what people gonna want. They gonna, somebody who got one that don't look good, they can tell somebody that's a pit bull all they want. They gonna be, but the person who looking at it gonna be like, that motherfucker don't look like the one that I seen on YouTube.
Yeah.
You don't look, you know what I'm saying? So that's why the shows is important. That's why I make videos of the show and try to make it popular so that people see what's the real standard. Like, I mean, and I'm not saying if you got an ugly dog that it's not a good dog, but at the end of the day, we trying to goddamn move the breed forward, bro. We trying to make this shit make sense. You know what I'm saying? So,
oh yeah. Now, so I don't know how many I have or how many I selling them for 10K, but this is the thing about it. Once you start selling them high, just say over 5 years, 10 years, and brothers across the community selling them higher and purchasing them higher, it's all a circle. You paying high for it, you selling it higher. So once you get them, I mean, the thing is keeping them in full function form, without screwing them up and stuff like that. Price wise, I guess the price is, I don't know, some people gonna probably always sell their shit cheap. That's the thing about it. There's so many of them dogs out there, casino, man. You can have the same dog casino and you go win the Westminster with your dog casino, and then these brothers gonna look at your dog pedigree and say that's the same pedigree that won the Westminster. We're gonna breed the stuff like him. We ain't gonna breed 10K to him. We're gonna breed him. But the thing about it, casino, we got a different audience now. We don't got that low budget audience. We talking about an audience of people, other kind of people, and these people might be spending $100,000. They don't mind spending $50,000 on a dog. They don't mind spending $20,000 on a dog. We in a whole different audience now, whole different type of folk. We ain't even worrying about if you can't afford no $500 dog. You know what I'm saying?
Bro, I ain't ever got no dog for $500.
Man. Just like the Molly wise. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say I ain't never got no dog for 500. Like, I mean, not this breed. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I always put my money with like, bro, I done spent thousands of dollars on my dogs. So, I mean, I ain't got no problem with that shit. Like, I'm one of them. Like, bro, whatever the fuck, if I want my dogs, if the nigga would have told me 5,000, I would have still had it. I would have still had the dog because I would have paid 5,000.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yep. And, like, I don't have a problem. Like, I value the breed. Like, I'm not looking. If a nigga selling a dog for 500, I don't even want the dog from you.
I feel
If you selling dogs for 500, I don't want the shit, because that means I'm gonna be in the group with a bunch of people who just got them dogs for 500. That means everybody else who got a dog out there got the dog for 500. Like, I don't even want. I pay what for what I want. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would pay 5,000 for a pit bull, no problem. The same dogs I got, I pay more than that. Now that I see what they is, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I pay more than that. You know what I'm saying? So
that's like the German Shepherd and the Malinois. You see how the difference is? Nobody don't hardly got Malinois because they're expensive. People that got them, they got them, but they're not out like German Shepherds. You can get a German Shepherd off any corner for $250. Whether they got papers on them or not. I'm just talking about a full-blooded German Shepherd. When you start talking about Malinois and them kind of dogs, the only way you're gonna get that kind of price if you're getting a deal from the person that actually, if you're just buying it from somebody, man, them dogs straight out the belly, no training, no nothing. We're talking $2,500, $2,000 and stuff like that. Maybe $1,700 or something like that. but they 3 times more than what the pit bull going for, and the person might not even be doing no training with them or nothing, like just off the strength of the breed. And being that the price is that much before the breed got that popular, you couldn't spread it around like they spread the pit bull and the German Shepherd around. German Shepherd, spread it around a whole lot faster. It came out in the days that the dogs was cheaper. You know what I'm saying? And these brothers get them. And the German Shepherd is really the only dog you can compare to the breeding when I'm talking about America bred that dog just as much as they bred the pit bull. That German Shepherd bred about every damn dog it is in the soul. Mixed breed dogs, full-blooded dogs, and all kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? So I was just
gonna say, I want to say, respond to Big Saw before I get up out of here. He said 10K and 5K is 2 totally different things. Like when I said 10K, I was just throwing out some shit. I wasn't
we're
saying
just throwing numbers out.
Yeah, I'm just throwing numbers out, bro. Don't take that literal. But
anything
5,000,
yeah,
5,000 is a literal price I would pay if I want the dog. You know what I'm saying? To be honest with you, shit, if I really want the dog, 10,000 is something I'm gonna pay. You know what I'm saying? Like, to be honest, like if I want the shit, I'm gonna get it. That's just how I am. That's just how I operate in my head. Like, it ain't nothing. Like when I came in trying to buy a real pit bull, if the going rate was 10 bands, I'd still have a pit bull. I wouldn't have looked at no other breed. I wouldn't have been like, man, let me find something cheaper. No, I would have been trying to figure out how the fuck I'm finna get this 10 bands, and I would have got it. That's just what it is. You know what I'm saying? But I was just throwing out a number when I said 10 bands. You know what I'm saying? But I would pay 10 bands if that's how much these shits cost. I would pay that shit. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. It just depends on if you want it or not, man. And the thing is, we just talking about far as the prices, the average price that the average pit bull will go for, as far as what getting the breed recognized by AKC would do for the breed itself. Would it hurt it? Would it help it? It's going, far as financially wise, it's going to help everybody financially because it's going to make the dog be sold for higher. Your dog will be sold for higher if it's registered through that way, but you can't really say until do it, because it's going to be a first time for everybody, and we just seeing how it flow for the first time. And like Saul say, you could pay 5,000 for curves, 10,000 for curves, and different things, but it just money can't, and that's another thing what you say about the $500 thing just now. Money can't value the quality of the dog. Money is just only the value that person want to sell the dog for. But it actually don't say, okay, this dog, okay, yeah, he may be coming off champion Honey Bunch, or maybe coming off champion Jeep, or maybe coming off champion so-and-so. But, other than that, you can't really say nothing about, far as what the dog can be when he get grown, because a point Samurai made on his show the other day, and it's so important that the man who got the dog is just as important as the dog himself. You know what I'm saying? We forget that, or we overlook it, but it's a two-way thing. That dog can be all he want to be, but if the person got the dog not doing the dog right, the dog ain't gonna be none of that. You know what I'm saying? If the person doing the dog just half of what he need to be doing, and the dog is all that, then it'll show. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I'm gonna say Big Saw responded. I guess I'm gonna have a conversation with Big Saw. I just be wanting people to understand where I'm coming from. He said, Big Saw said, if you just going on the looks and the confirmation of a dog, what's the difference between $500 and $4? I don't know. I think he's saying what's the difference in the price, but I never said I'm only going on looks or confirmation. I never said that, but I'm saying is, if you take a dog that don't got good confirmation and it act the same as the one with perfect confirmation, the one with perfect confirmation should be cost more.
It is.
And he said I sound like a peddler. I never even bred a dog, bro.
Nah,
I never even sold a dog. I mean, I've sold a dog to help my partner, but I've never dropped a litter and sold a litter, so I can't be no puppy peddler, bro. And I got dogs that's way over the age that somebody else would have been bred my dog, bro. Somebody would have been bred my dog Canelo. I haven't bred it.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna accept that. Like, I mean, he didn't call me the puppy peddler. He said you sound like a peddler. I can't sound like a peddler if I ain't never even sold no dogs, bro. I'm not selling dogs. I'm not even selling dogs, But that's it. That's all I got, bro.
Oh yeah, man. Hey, like I said, I appreciate you coming up, man. I appreciate you coming up. Like I said, we just talking about, the shows and stuff, as far as everybody making money, not just one person. We talking about everybody making more money. And that's the whole thing. When we can't overlook, we always attacking each other when it comes to when we start talking about everybody. Everybody not gonna be able to get along in this dog game. That's the problem we have. Why 300 is some petitions or whatever we need. That's why it seems like it's a 3 billion, because we just don't coincide with each other when it comes to certain things. You know what I'm saying? Everybody have different opinions, which is supposed to be. Everybody's supposed to have different opinions. But the thing is, all we was talking about was, making the dog more valuable, on another end. Like I said, you can't put all your apples in one bunch. Making the dog more valuable. What is it taking from your dog? Now, that's what we say, get into the conversation about what does it take from the pit to add it to the AKC program, and what does it gain? That's when you come to your pros and your cons and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying?
Me personally,
price wise, when it comes to price wise, I'm just giving you an example, man. You got every single AKC dog it is out there that in the AKC registry will sell more than a pit bull right now today. And I don't give a damn what bloodline you got. If you go out there to the regular people that like regular dogs, that's what we talking about. See, you got so many people that is in that pit game, but you got to look. It's a broader horizon. There's more people out there in this world out there. You know what I'm saying? And they like pit bulls, man. And they just don't think about what's going on in the sporting dog journal. You know what I'm saying? They want to see and hear about the dog in a whole nother light. And you can't stay stuck on that shit. Like trying to keep it. Oh, this one little talk about these only 20 magazines right here. The only folk we gonna talk about for the next 50 years and stuff like that, man. And why folks steady getting locked up for doing all this other stuff, and then people left in the limbo with nothing to do with the dogs. You know what I'm saying? Then you find brothers that came up with the information that say only thing they're keeping our dog from being considered a one breed by AKC is 300 or 400 some people that do it. You like, damn, that's all. You know what I'm saying? And then you see why breeds like the pocket pits, breed like the bullies and the exotics and all that excelling. Why they doing their thing? Why they having fun? You can say what they want to say, what we want to say about them, but they doing their thing. And it don't make no sense. It's no coincidence that every single dog doing their thing outside of the pit bull brothers. It's always a bunch of damn animosity. It's always a bunch of commotion when it comes to these dogs, man. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I ain't talking about what. Go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say I keep trying to get up out of here, but I keep seeing people responding. I don't want to leave the people hanging. I want to get everything clipped. But
oh yeah. Oh, Big Sal, I know you weren't saying nothing about fighting. We just talking about the 10 and 5,000. I ain't want to make it seem like it's all about the money, but we talking about what comes with the situation. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Bando, I dropped the link, Bando. Or either you could drop the question. I dropped the link though. Either one.
Bando. Bando said analogy you gave about a price. You bullshit for that. I want to know what he mean by that. And then K9 Kingdom asked me, did I breed Bigfoot? No, Bigfoot was bred by Sam Cates. K9 Kingdom. Bigfoot was bred by Sam Cates. What's good, Lil J? But yeah, Bando, come up here. You know what I'm saying? While I got, you know what I'm saying? I ain't doing nothing. Come on up.
Yeah, man. Just talk about them dogs, man, and what benefits they have from, adding to the AKC show and different things like that. Everybody's opinion matters. Bando, what's going on, man, for that 4th of July weekend?
Oh, man. I hope were you guys safe?
Hey, I'm safe. I
was safe. I got drunk at the house. I was good. I was tucked in by 10 o'clock.
Hey, I feel you on that, bro. I feel you on that.
I ain't got no. Hey, it was just one night, of fun, and that's it. It's all good, you know what I mean? But the individual, right? I just chimed in, so I can only comment and give you my response on what I heard. And what I heard is a man say that he would not accept a $500 dog, but would buy, a $3,000. No, I gotta, let me, I got a question for that individual. Real talk.
This is what I'm gonna say. This is why I say that. There's different
Why
in a
would you say
500.
that?
I would say that because all right, put it like this. If somebody breeding dogs that should be more than 500 and they 500, then I'll be like,
Yeah.
okay,
I
that's
understand.
different. But I'm talking
I
about
get your point.
$500 value, like the dog. Really, that's all you can get for the shit. That's what I'm saying. Like,
Really?
I'm saying, that's
Okay.
what I'm saying.
I get your point, but looky here. You know, not to cut you off. I understand your analogy, the way you see things. But let me tell you this: I have been offered dogs that's certified hog catchers, all the above, and the people that offer me free dogs are on this channel right now, and they gave them to me free.
Offering free dog is different. That's a friendship.
So
thing.
why would you turn if you turn down a $500 dog, you wouldn't turn down a free dog compared to a $500,000 dog?
Listen,
make sense to me.
All right, listen, I'm trying to tell you what I mean.
Hey, let me cut both of y'all off. Let me cut both of y'all off real quick before I forget this right here, because I had a thing.
Yes, sir.
That's speaking on what both of y'all said right there. Now, I agree with what both of y'all were talking about, right? Casino, I had something happen to me before, right? I lost a couple of dog sales because I sold my dog too cheap. And I know I lost the sale because they wanted the dog, but when I gave them I wanted to get the dog off. I just wanted to get the dog off, and I lost the sale because if I would have stayed on the price and left that price like that, they would have got them. Being that I would try to go low, they looked at it like, oh, what I'm trying to sell them cheap for, right? But at the same time, I agree with what Bando's saying, because you could find the best dog in the world for $200. Brother don't know you at all. He sell his dogs for $250, and it might be the best dog in the world. But I might not buy it because he's selling it for.
I apologize. I apologize. I understand the concept on which I understand it. It's just more of a marketing and selling product. But I know individuals that are just in it to promote their brand and then producing good dogs. That I understand it's two different lanes in this dog shit. Some people's trying to build a brand. Some people trying to sell product. I get it.
Listen,
you're not wrong for what you're doing.
Listen,
I'm not saying you guys are wrong, my nigga.
No, let me.
But
I was
it's
before
two
you
different
said what
people.
you said. I was finna explain what I mean by what I'm saying, right?
Mm.
Now there are situations where you know somebody and they're a good breeder and they want to give you
breeder. What about a houndsman? Somebody that's gonna work that dog, not a breeder. A person that working that dog.
All right, either way,
not a breeder.
Either way, bro.
It's a big difference when you say breeder and a person that's a houndsman.
All right, bro, I'm not up here to argue with nobody, bro.
I'm not arguing, but listen to what I'm trying to say.
You already said what you.
And a breeder is two different people,
bro, I'm
my
not
nigga.
gonna argue, bro. Listen, I don't.
You don't have to argue.
I'm not worried about.
What I'm trying to tell you, a breeder and a houndsman is two different people.
Listen, if somebody, I'm not gonna put a label on the person. If somebody has good dogs.
Is he a breeder or a houndsman?
It don't matter.
Is he a breeder or a houndsman? It don't
matter. It doesn't matter.
Yes,
if somebody
matters.
Listen, to me,
it matters.
Let me, bro. Are you coming up here to
argue? Is he a breeder or a houndsman aspect? Just tell me so I can understand your analogy. That's all I want to know.
If somebody got good dogs, and I know them, and
you must not know what a houndsman is.
Bro, I know what a houndsman is, bro. I'm not getting into all that.
What's the difference between a breeder and a houndsman?
Somebody who works their dogs. A houndsman do shit with their dogs. A breeder just breed their dogs. But the people I get my dogs from,
you know the difference, my nigga. Bro, you do know the difference. Right, okay, I give you that.
I know the difference, bro. But every breeder I've been to was a houndsman, bro. So just let me talk.
True.
All right.
Okay.
So I ain't never bought a dog from a person who was a breeder and not a houndsman. So just listen to what I'm saying, bro.
Now I understand. Okay.
All right. So if a person has good dogs and I know them, and they trying to give me one for free, I already know they got good dogs. Of course, I'm gonna take it for free. Or if they just trying to show me,
then you got common sense, then, my nigga. You smart than a motherfucker. Okay, that's all I wanted to hear.
All right, but I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about like if you're in the market, if you just now starting out. Because I would talk about myself. I was just starting out, bro. So I was trying to find like good dogs and shit, and I didn't really know none of these people personally and shit. All I can look at.
I understand, my nigga.
All I can do is look at the work that they've done. You know what I'm saying?
I understand.
And me from the outside looking at the work that they've done, the ones that were more expensive were the ones that I like. That's just all that's what I'm saying. Because when I came in, I didn't have nobody.
That answer right there tells
Hey,
me
can I say something?
I understand it.
Can I say something?
Your
Can I
logic,
say something?
and it makes sense.
What
It makes
the
sense.
difference though? What's the difference? What if the dog conformationally got this temperament, good temperament, and the motherfucker selling the same bloodline around the corner for $5K and the one around the corner for $500? What's the difference? That's what you're using them for.
If they
Confirmation.
if they the same dog, it really ain't no difference. But what I would tell them, I'll be like, bro, it's a dude around the corner. I would tell them straight up, if I see the dogs and I know that it's the same shit, I would tell them like, bro, you might want to up your price, bro, because that shit too cheap. That's what I would tell them. And I've told somebody that before, like on some real shit, huh?
I got an answer for that question that gentleman asked. I got an answer for it. The difference is when you put that dog in the woods, how it's going to perform against that hog, and that's a better dog for you. That's my answer for you.
But the price ain't going to determine what it do.
No, the price don't make the dog.
Damn sure ain't. Damn sure ain't. That's what I'm trying to say. That's what I'm trying to say. That's what I'm trying to say. Motherfuckers hollering out this team. Motherfuckers hollering out this 10K shit. I go get $100 dog.
That's a breeding.
I go get $100
breeding mentality, my nigga. They're not the hound.
I go get $100 dog.
But you got to think what I'm trying to say, bro.
I go get $100 dog.
Yeah, that could be true.
I go get $100 dog and goddamn, you know what I'm saying?
You know, listen, bro. I'm thinking. Listen, bro. Listen, I'm not talking about nobody personally, bro. I'm talking about thinking about the whole bigger picture. I'm talking about like, all right. So let's say if somebody is able, and when I said 10,000, I was just throwing out a price. But let's say it is somebody who's able to sell their dog for 10,000, and somebody got the same type of dog for 100. You don't think that the person with the dog for 100 should go up? Like they should go up.
I think they should sell them for what? I think they should sell them for what the fuck they want to sell them for.
Well, I mean, everybody got their own right. I'm not saying I can't nobody make nobody sell their dog for nothing. But I'm just saying if you could, like, all right, if you got a dog and it's the same exact dog as the one selling for 9,000 more, why wouldn't you get that extra bread? And I mean, that's just how I look at it. You know what I'm saying? But no, the price of the dog don't make the dog. I'm not saying none of that. I'm talking about from the standpoint of I'm talking about from the standpoint of somebody who's trying to get into somebody who's trying to get a dog. I'm just talking from that. I'm talking about somebody who don't know nobody. They just looking at the breed. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I know there's people who sell their dog for cheaper than what it probably should be. You know what I'm saying? But usually, if you're looking from the outside looking in and you don't know nobody, the ones that cost a little more, if you don't know nobody, usually be a little better. Unless you know somebody who got some, like, that you know for sure got some good dogs and they selling them for cheap. But if you don't know nobody like that, I'm talking about for people who just trying to get a pit bull. You know what I'm saying? And for really the whole situation, everybody got pit bulls, and if you can sell them for more, I feel like you should. And I feel like but of course anybody can sell their dog for whatever they want to sell it for. Like, of course.
Now let me ask you this. Now, anybody, it's for anybody. Now, how about what y'all think about? Okay, Casino or Big Soul, y'all got y'all dog at the ADBA show, and he a champion. He a certified champion at the ADBA show or whatever. All right, and he you do all the shows. Now you tell me, what's the difference between me getting a puppy from you and me getting a puppy from the dude around the corner they say he got the same thing you got? They ain't off the same dog, but they bred the same way your dog bred. What's the difference in that?
It's a big difference in that. Just got a title.
Yeah, he got
just
a title.
Got an ADBA title.
Yeah,
that's it. I mean, if that's what you go, if that's what you value in these dogs, you know, ribbons and that type of thing, then I mean that's your thing. I might value something different in these dogs. You dig what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You dig what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
I might not give a fuck about a goddamn ribbon or a confirmation show. You know what I'm saying? I'm just speaking hypothetically speaking.
Oh yeah.
You dig what I'm saying? Maybe I'm trying to perfect the line. Maybe I'm trying to perfect the line and get a line to where, you know what I'm saying, I could put some good dogs out here in people's hands, and you know what I'm saying, and get my my little line off the ground or something. You know what I'm saying? Just hypothetically speaking.
But this is what I was saying.
It's all different. People got all different kind of corners in these dogs. You dig what I'm saying?
But this is what I was saying, right? I'm not saying I'm not making it specific to know what you want to do with your dog. It don't matter what you want to do with your dog. What I'm saying is, if there's two dogs, right, and one got terrible conformation and it's a great dog, he do everything you want the dog to do. But then there's another dog that got perfect conformation and do everything that same dog that got bad conformation do. I feel like the one that look better, if they do the same shit, the one that look better should be more. That's all I'm saying. The one that look better should cost more than the one that don't look as good if they do the exact same shit. That's what I'm saying.
Just
It's
like I
gonna be
said,
that.
it's different
It'll be
corners in
that
these
way.
dogs.
Even with the rolling and stuff, it'll still be the same way. Because the dog that makes in the box who did the work or whatever, he gonna be the dog that puppies get sold more. If you got something that's bred the same way, Champion Tarzan bred, and you got Champion Tarzan, and this brother over here got one bred just like you, and you selling your puppies for 5,000, they
Let me
coming off a
ask you.
Grand Champion. Go ahead.
Let me ask you a question. Okay, a casino got a grand champion confirmation dog. And the dude around the corner got a grand champion sporting dog. Who gonna get more money for their puppies?
I'm not even trying to get in that conversation, bro.
Yeah,
We on the
No,
internet.
I'm just saying. No, I'm just saying.
We ain't
I'm
really.
just
I
saying.
don't really care, bro. I don't care on the
It's
internet.
just
I don't care.
hypothetically speaking. We just
I mean,
hypothetically speaking.
hypothetically,
It's just
man, look,
we
it
just
is what
talking
it
dogs.
is.
We talking dogs. We
I
talking
ain't trying
dogs,
to
bro.
talk. I ain't trying to
Now,
talk
right
Talking
that
now,
deep
dogs,
into
right?
it.
now,
I'm
truthfully,
not
All
trying to
right.
talk that
Okay.
deep into
All
it.
right. All
yeah,
right.
truthfully, right now today, if you had, the way things is right now, we going only by the way things is. The
Yeah,
person
we
with the,
just talk. We
the
just
person with
talking, man. It's just goddamn cigar talk, man. This
the
ain't, you know
person
what I'm
with
saying? Ain't nobody fighting no fucking dogs and
yeah
shit. I'm
the
just
person with
speaking hypothetically speaking, brother.
the person with the
That's
grand
all.
champion show dog will be able to be they'll be able to be bragging more, but the person with the grand champion, because we know grand champions that we done heard people say about over the past 10 years or 15 years or something like that. And how much had they breeding went up as far as prices wise and stuff like that. Some of these brothers got grand champions and can't even sell a dog more than Chico selling his, and it's all about advertisement. Folk don't even really care about a lot of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? It's about
But
they
I
they
look at it
care
like this.
about
Whatever you do with your dogs, I don't want you to think. I don't want you to think I'm trying to dish you or some shit like, because nah, that
No,
ain't
no,
what I'm
I
trying to
don't think
say.
you're
I'm
trying to
just
diss me.
speaking
I
dog
just
and
wasn't
shit.
trying to go down. I'm
Nah,
not trying to go into all that. I'm just saying.
I,
I was just talking about if
hey
it's two dogs that do the
whatever you do
same
with your
thing.
dog, that's what you do with your dog. Do you know what I'm saying? Do you? You know what I'm saying?
yeah
I like your dogs, what you got. You know what I'm saying? I ain't
hey,
got no problem with nothing that you do. You know what I'm
yeah
saying? Because like I say, it's a corner for everybody in these dogs. You dig what I'm saying? So I mean,
Right.
that's all I'm
What
saying.
David Banner was saying right there in the chat. Damn, Bruce Banner.
But what I will say is
When you lose some, you gain
them
some.
historical dogs, the ones that was like famous, not most of the ones that I see look good as fuck. You know what I'm saying? Like they look good as fuck. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, they got good confirmation. Like Mayday is a good looking dog. Goddamn, there's a lot of goddamn good looking dogs that was in the box. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like confirmation dogs is the only ones that look good. Like all of them look good. That's why I say if it's two dogs that do the same shit, the one that look the best is probably gonna be the one that is worth more. You know what I'm saying? If they do the same shit. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
That's
oh
all
yeah,
I'm saying. But I'm gonna get up out of here,
Yeah,
man.
oh yeah, oh yeah. And price wise, man, people
yeah.
can sell their
I'm gonna
dogs
shoot
for.
out. I just wanted to jump on real quick, PBK. I
All right,
still
all
don't
right,
like your motherfucking ass though, but I just want to jump on this shit. You know what I
all right.
mean?
Appreciate it, dog. Appreciate it, man. Hey, at the end of the day, man, it's nobody can sell your dog. Whatever you want to sell them for is whatever anybody want to sell their dogs for. Period, regardless. And the thing about it, like we were saying, the pit bull is just spread out so far. Even if I'm selling, and everybody got everybody blood when it comes to bloodline. You may not have the same dog off the same stud, but you got the same blood, and you may have it crossed the same way. You know what I'm saying? So where I may get up here and sell my dog for 10,000, the next man may got the same bred dogs, and he may be selling them for 500, and his dogs may be good. You know what I'm saying? Just because he's selling for 5 don't mean they ain't no good, and just because I'm selling mine for 5,000 don't mean they're the best. It just go with your brand or whatever you trying to sell your dog for. I guess we can't never say, oh, because I'm selling mine for this, that means you got to sell yours for this. Everybody gonna have their own little situations or things they dealing with when it come to that. But I do agree with y'all on that thing on getting that cheap dog, because you know, forget talking about the old school days when we was buying dogs cheap, because back then a $250 dog was equivalent to probably what a higher price dog is now. You know, so 250 wasn't no 250 like it is now. So we ain't talking about that. We just talking about, and I always say this shit. Some brothers sell their dogs for different prices for different reasons. You never can tell what a brother want to sell his dogs for that particular price for. Everybody not trying to, one brother may not can sell his dogs. One thing I know, sitting on a dog for 3 or 4 weeks, a month, 2 months, that shit costs you, man. You got to sit on puppies and all kind of stuff like that. So a lot of brothers may try to get the puppies off fast or get them off for a certain price or lower price and different things like that. I just say when we sell these dogs cheaper, it puts it in a easier chance for the wrong person to get hold to the dog. One thing about when you pay high for a dog, like he did say, it makes you want to spend time to research the dog. It makes you want to spend time to do this, to figure out something about that dog right there. You know, no matter what you end up doing with it in the long run, you're gonna do your little investing in time and figure out about that breed. And that's what putting money on a dog does. It does that all the way around. I can sell you a dog for $500 and you're gonna treat him like shit. Or I can sell you a dog for $3,000 and you're gonna treat him like somebody, give him fresh water, make sure he got shade and all that type of stuff. I give him to you for $5, you ain't worrying about him. He gets sick, or I ain't paying up for $5 for him. He ain't no big loss if you lose him. You know what I'm saying? So it work all kind of ways, man. We hurt ourselves sometimes when we sell these dogs real cheap. You know what I'm saying? It is not really like, oh, you trying to be a peddler or you trying to, listen here, man. The dog food don't get no cheaper. While we arguing about who a peddler, the dog food going up higher and higher and higher and higher. You know what I'm saying? Hey, how the hell we gonna take care of the dogs if we don't make no money off of them somewhere or another? You know what I'm saying? Somewhere or another, we got to make some money on them. You know, so I say, you know, it's a difference. You know, we all know what the difference is between somebody who's just trying to peddle them or somebody who really dealing with the dogs or something like that. You know, but for the most part, you know, we weren't really talking about that. We're just talking about trying to get the dogs recognized as one breed through the AKC. It don't take nothing from nobody else breed who not registered. All you need is 300 and 400 or some people to go about the process that needs going about. And, you know, that's nothing. You know, and getting a dog recognized as a breed is a big deal, man, for our dog that been here for 100 years already and should have been recognized as one breed already. You know what I'm saying? We shouldn't have to be arguing about this or talking about this 100 years later. Oh, it's 20 dogs that we call a pit bull. But when I get talking about the pits, right, and I say bulldog, everybody that's listening to that don't know what I'm talking about, they think I'm talking about a real bulldog. You know, because when I say bulldog, bulldog means bulldog. A boxer means boxer. Every other breed, their name means their name, except when it comes to a pit bull. Our name means every other damn dog name. Yellow One, what's going on with your big dog for the day?
What going on, PBK? What going on, man?
Ain't too much, man. Different day, man. Same old shit.
Yeah, I just wanted to hop up here real quick. Man, I done seen people pay top dollar for dogs and don't take care of their dog.
Hey, you right
So
about that, dog. You right about
it's
that.
more about, like I said in the chat, it's more about the ethics of the person. You know what I'm saying? They might pay $200 for a dog and take care of that motherfucker like, you know, like they paid good money for. I done seen people not pay big money for dog and don't take care of them.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen it. So, you know,
And you wouldn't believe, dog. If you ever look at it, like dogs on Craigslist or something, and sometimes you check their dogs and you see a whole big long story up under the dog, the information they need from you and all kind of stuff. Sometimes them people ain't even tripping about that, right? But if they see you willing to go through that, they know you what type of person you is. You know what I'm saying? If you willing to go through this to get the dog, or whatever little circumstances they got, sometimes it lets them know what type of person you is, as far as what you intended on doing with the dog. Sometimes, you know, and like, you know, that shit matter, man. What that person, you know, does with the dog, it matters a lot. The person,
yeah, you know, people can fill out all them questions, answer them questions, agree to,
and
you know, what they're gonna do with the dog, the status.
Yep, you right about the money wise, because $3,000 for one man might be what $3 is. You know, to me, you know, That might be $3 to him, so he can spend $3,000. You know, and don't, like you say, don't take care of the dog. Spend $5,000 and
Right.
still don't take care of the damn
Yeah.
dog. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. 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 Yep. Facts, man. Facts.
Definitely right about that, boy. Definitely right about that. What you did for the 4th, man?
I just barbecued some ribs. That's about it.
Pork.
I made some baked beans. That's about all. Yeah. Were they pork ribs?
Yeah.
Yeah, they were pork. Yeah, they were pork ribs.
I was just about to mess with you. I eat pork and beef. Shit, it don't matter to me. Some brothers don't eat pork though.
Yeah, I know.
I
Yeah,
tell you both of them.
I ain't no big pork. I ain't no big pork eater like that, but
Yeah.
you know, I will eat it sometime. Yeah.
Yeah,
What
man.
about what you do?
Shit, I do. I ain't did too much this weekend. Same old. I ain't even do no cookout tonight. You know, still with the family.
Oh, okay. Okay.
You know, that's about it, man. But before you
Yeah.
get up out of here, I do want to ask you this. You ain't gotta leave or nothing after I ask you this, but I'm just saying, ask you this one question. This ain't got nothing to do with dogs.
Go ahead.
Nas
Go
or Jim
ahead.
Jones? Nas or Jim Jones?
Oh, nah.
I see all them boys asking everybody that shit, man. It just amuses me the answers they giving. You got one or two of them that say the brothers that say Jim. You know, got the Jim fans out there. Salute to the brother Jim Jones out there.
Yeah, I like Jim Jones too. I like him.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Jim had some hits when I was DJing. When I was hard and DJing in the club, Jim had that balling song. That balling was out. He had a few more.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Nas or Pusha T?
Oh man, I'm telling you right now, man, Nas, man, when it comes to that, dog, I can explain to you. I take him over and Pusha T and Jim Jones together. Push T and Jim Jones together. I wouldn't say with Nas because Nas, me myself, I feel like the songs that he put out, the club songs that he put out, like if they do if they do that versus battle, man, boy, Nas will get up there by himself, boy, and start dropping them gems. Boy, look at him. Boy, Nas the truth, dog. I ain't gonna lie to you. Only person that ever took Nas out that I seen was Tupac. And that's because Nas didn't respond. And Tupac was the only one that we seen lyrically, you know, that called him out and he didn't step back to. Other than that, we thought Nas and Jay-Z was on a certain level, but look how he did Jay on Ether. Man, shit. Imagine what he'd do to Pusha T and damn Jim Jones if he got out there and did them boys with a super hard beat. Boy, look at him.
Yeah, he got him on Ether. He got him on Ether.
You see what Nas did to answer back to him, right? On the YouTube video, right?
I ain't heard. I gotta hear.
Yeah, Nas ain't answer back with no rapper. No, he just dropped this new video, a new commercial to the new casino he opened up in Queens. He just opened up a new casino in Queens, and he did the commercial for that. That was his response back to what Jim Jones said or whatever. So that's a whole different kind of talk. That's the type of talk Jim ain't trying to talk. He trying to talk that YN talk, and Nas talking about a whole nother level, man. You know what I'm saying?
Talking that money talk.
Yeah, and then when they skills, I ain't gonna lie to you, Jim Jones can't take Jadakiss out, man. Mad Doctor say Jadakiss down at the bottom. Jadakiss is smooth. Jadakiss one of the illest MCs ever step out of New York City. MCs, period. One of the illest MCs, period. But when it come to making songs, he got some hits that played in the club. I ain't gonna lie, you can't. Jim Jones can't take Jadakiss out. You know what I'm saying? That's my opinion. That's just my opinion. But yeah, man. Nas, I think Jadakiss, everybody know Jadakiss got skills, but Jadakiss gonna even give Nas his respect when it comes to that shit, boy. Just my opinion. And Jim trying to play Nas like he played out old school, man. Nas had movies. He tried to make it like he was more relevant in modern day time than what Nas was ever relevant, man. He created Nas worldwide, man. Worldwide, and he a whole nother level. It really ain't nothing for nobody even having no real long conversation about, tell you the truth. Everybody who know Nas and know Jim, everybody who know both of them and know what they brought to the game or what they brought to the table, man, he ain't fucking with no damn Nas. Esco.
Okay. Overall.
Yeah, overall.
I'm about to ask you about somebody else. Overall, Nas or Jay-Z?
Oh, I'm gonna take now. I'm gonna tell you now, as a fan, overall, I
I
like
don't say
Nas.
Jay-Z.
Jay-Z?
Yeah, overall, yeah.
That's what you say, Jay-Z?
Yeah.
Now, I can see where you say that at because he got him a nice old lady. He got damn a nice
Nah, I
bank
ain't
account.
talking about. I ain't talking about. No, I'm talking about just lyrics, just lyrically, just rapping, just
Oh, Nas
bars.
done did it. He done handled that already. He handled that in Jay-Z Prime with that Ether
He
song, man.
got him with the beats. He got him with Ether. That's why I said overall. It's that one song. He did get him with this song though. Yeah, he got him with this song with
Now
Ether.
I'm gonna tell you now, when it come to their rap career, far as not even talking about money, just talking about they albums and stuff. Now Jay had a bunch of hits. Now I ain't gonna lie, I can't knock Jay. Jay had a bunch of hits. Nas had hits too, man. Nas is really like I heard one of the New York brothers saying. I was surprised to hear a New York brother say this. Nas got to stay off that damn 5% type rap, man. When Nas rapping hard like he was coming in Ether, or when he coming in some of his other songs, man, nobody can't fuck with him. But when he start talking about that other stuff, that damn righteous brother stuff, man, a lot of brothers don't be on that. You know what I'm saying? And you lose a lot of people with that. You know. Oh yeah, man, Pac over everybody. Because at the end of the day, Pac's song's still relevant right now, and he ain't dropped since 1996. And he ain't dropped since then. His song's still relevant, and them brothers having a hard time making songs that we can even compare to. We can even say, oh, we got something in common with that shit, man. Pac wrote songs before he even got down with Death Row that still means something. Like Brenda Got a Baby and all them other songs still means something right now today.
Dear Mama.
And none of them wanted, and when the man was alive, none of them wanted to step to that man lyrically wise, putting on the beat. That man called all of them out. We all heard it. You know what I'm saying? Over and over. None of them wanted to say nothing about that man. And it wasn't because of the beef. It was because that man knew how to get in that booth and lay it down. And he had people following him, listening to him. So they ain't want to put it at risk. Nas could have easily dropped that ether on Tupac, much as Tupac was saying about him. Well, he actually didn't say too much about Nas. He said more about Jay than he said about Nas.
Yeah, but see, it was easy for Nas to say he said a lot of personal shit about Jay-Z. You know what I'm saying? So it was easy for him to say that. Pick on it. Like what he say. He said he had whiskers instead of saying what he said, whiskers like a rat compared to beans you whack. So he was saying the whiskers, like, Jay-Z mustache ain't real thick and shit.
Yeah.
Shit like that. He called him a camel, you know what I'm saying? He called him a camel and shit like that. But yeah, I think it was the easier target for him to
they was
get at Jay.
Both of them knew more personal stuff about each other than would have been with Pac and them. Yeah. That's what made that song so ill. They were saying personal stuff about each other.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Hey, man, that's the thing about it, man. When we look at Pac, man, you see how young he was and how old he seemed back then compared to these brothers now.
Right.
You can't even imagine Pac died in their mid-20s. Imagine what these young brothers now, and we talking about the songs that we heard when he was 19, 20 years old putting out. You know what I'm saying? These brothers not even thinking on that level right now. None of these 19-year-old brothers that making music thinking to is the level of thinking that we was on. The kind of music they listening to is the level of thinking they on. That's why, even though we say times change, but hey, sometimes times change ain't good. You know what I'm saying? It just shit, man. That's the difference between classics and the stuff that they making now. You could play any one of the pop songs at a cookout, and folk gonna bob their head unless you had an old person cookout or something like that, or it ain't appropriate. But for the most part, shit. Eminem, I think when it comes to Eminem, speaking about him as one of the greatest ever, I put him as one of the top MCs ever. When it comes to lyrical, the total package, and I'm gonna say it like this: when it comes to him, and when it comes to making a track right now today, he gonna probably be to compete with any MC. I ain't gonna lie to you. And his diss tracks, when they really make diss tracks, they ill. But you know, we talking about comparing them to Jay, Nas, DMX, uh, Tupac, brothers like that. I mean, folk always have Eminem as one of the best MCs ever. I guess I gotta say it like that. Folk always have him up there, but shit.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you really want to be truthful about it, I think DMX has to come out of New York. I ain't gonna lie to you. And nobody really try to battle him in all kind of ways when it comes to a battle track or nothing. He never really had that problem. But DMX, when it comes to putting words together and putting a sentence together that makes sense, shit, well, he wanted to probably be one of the top. He gonna, in my opinion, this is my opinion, he one of the top 3 out of New York. I could go by what they talking about something. What did it mean? Something storytelling and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Like we got Biggie as one of the top rappers of all time. I don't say Biggie is one of the top because he don't got enough work to say that, right? But he did put out some good songs. He put out some really put him in that Nas, DMX, Jay-Z category myself. But he up there, you know what I'm saying? He just don't got enough material for us to compare to them boys.
Mm-hmm.
That's about it on that. I guess if he would have been living about 3 or 4 more years, we would have had more material to compare with them fellas. But shit, for the most part, we ain't really got number 2 albums, a double album or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, them brothers say Rakim, and brothers like Rakim, Scarface, man, them boys grandfather in. They OGs. See, them young boys, they don't know nothing about Rakim. You want to study all the old school pedigrees, all that shit, same thing in the music. If I was a rapper up and coming, man, I'm learning about all them boys. Rakim, Nice and Smooth, not Digital, what's the boy name? Lords of the Underground. I'm learning about all them boys from back in the days, man, and way before their time. You know what I'm saying? You gotta know what if you in the music, you gotta know how music started and where it went over here, where it went over there. I ain't saying ride around in your car listening to it now. You know what I'm saying? But shit, man, music that changed so much compared to how it used to be, dog. Everybody who at least 30-something over tell it the same damn thing. We all listen to that new modern stuff because that's all we got sometimes. But at the end of the day, man, it's a shame that you can go back to all the music from the early 2000s and back, and all them shit's considered classics compared to this new music, man. From the R&B music on down to the rap music. Anything you throw in from that mid 2000s, that rap 2010 era, man, that shit different, dog. Now the music, the boys, a lot of the time the music they selling not even on beat. The beat is one of them drill beats, and they rapping, and they not even on beat with it. They just rapping and holding the guns in the video and all that, and they get a lot of views. Like the brother said earlier, the YouTube is powerful and not even an MC. That's why I do agree with a lot of them brothers when they say a lot of this mumble rap, and stuff like that, man. I'm from that area. I like to hear words. I like to hear words, and I like to hear what you're talking about. Even if you're talking shit or whatever you're saying, I like to hear what you're saying. You know what I'm saying? And understand what you're saying. Shit, man. You can understand all that stuff from Tupac and all that shit like that. You can sit the average 15-year-old down and play a Tupac song, and he gonna understand everything Pac. But you might consider 15-year-old down, and they might not understand some of that street stuff these brothers talking about unless they're in the streets already. You know what I'm saying? They may be in the streets, and they may know this brother talking about this or talking about that or talking about this, but you can see any 15-year-old down, I don't care if it's white, black, whoever he is, you sit him down, if he know English, he understand rap gangster. But it just took more, I think they took more pride, just like everything else. They took more pride in what they did back then. You know what I'm saying? Brothers really was trying to be MCs. Now they ain't trying to be MCs, they just trying to make the money. As long as they can make the bag, which you can't knock them. You know what I'm saying? Make the bag and keep it stepping. But they ain't real focused on being real MCs.
Now the lyrics and the
Yeah, man, I ain't
MCing went out the
trying
window.
to hold you up on that shit.
Oh yeah, now you good, man.
Huh?
I said the MCing it went out the window.
Oh yeah. Now, coming from the DJ world, we've been seeing this a long time ago. I'm gonna explain this to all my DJs out there. Everybody who DJ with the digital stuff, the Seratos and all that, not the brothers who was DJing with the vinyl first. See, the brothers who DJ with the vinyl first, they consider us what we call CD DJers. Before they came, CD players that play CDs, but it's scratched like a record player, and you can put your CD in, and them brothers look at it like the brothers who DJ with a little. Now you can bring your computer in. You don't gotta bring 20,000 crates in. The brother gotta bring all the records in. Gotta bring all the records. The brothers was looking at, oh, y'all ain't really DJing. Y'all ain't really no DJ like us. We real DJs. We come in here with, we got 10 crates of records. You got a big 500-pound nigga got to tote them motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? Y'all ain't real DJs like us, because we come in and we come in with everything in the book bag. The whole that, I just lay it out and then rock the whole party. You know, and I even seeded my damn self to experience it. You know what I did? I'm DJing. I'm from the era of that digital era of DJing, right? So while I'm DJing, I'm starting to see the club owners and the strip clubs and shit. They trying to cut our money. You know, they're trying to cut out the DJ's money, so they go get a little computer and then just get a playlist and start playing it straight off the computer and shit like that, and make you look like, okay, make you feel like, okay, now you're trying to discredit my job. You know what I'm saying? You trying to do or something. When in actuality, I'm DJing this party. You know what I'm saying? I bring a lot to the table. You know, so I looked at it like that. I start seeing, oh, this motherfucker he try to do the same thing you doing basically, but just cut you out of the situation. You know what I'm saying? So I see how that go, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, not get too deep on that music and everything, man. But we talked about them Carver dogs today with the inbreeding and the breeding stuff in close. You ever had any experience with that old family red stuff, Yellow?
No, I haven't.
How about them Carver dogs?
No, I ain't never had none of no Carver bred dog.
I ain't never had none myself personally, but I've had a few in my yard that worked. That was Carver bred dogs off of some of that Carver stuff. Brothers talk a lot of good stuff about the Carver bred dogs. Never really hear nobody talking that bad about them, as far as, you know, and that go back to what Mayfield said, you know, when you got a pure family and you got a scatterbred family. Think about it. You hear Garner dogs, 45-minute dogs. Or you hear these dogs right here. You hear these dogs, game dogs with no mouth. Just keep going. But what do you hear about Carver dogs? You know, I have never, me myself, and I'm not everybody, but I have never heard nothing about them. As far as whether they were smart dogs or whether they, you know, if I got a brother who got a pure Carver dog and he tell me he got all the Carver dog traits and he want to breed them to mellow yellow, what do he, you know? How do I know that he actually got the stuff from the old school when what he telling me? You know, what does the Carver stuff bring? What does it bring to the table? I don't know. You know, but I know it's a lot of, you know, good Carver dogs out there. Them brothers got.
Yeah. I know a guy. He had some. He liked that Carver stuff. Yep. But he locked up now, though. He liked it.
Yeah. I'll read something in the chat. The boys was saying about the skipping. I ain't sure what they was talking about. Was they talking about us, or was they talking about something else in the chat? They were saying something about skipping. Something was skipping down. I know, far as what I hear, me and you was straight. I could hear you good the whole time. And I know, I ain't know if they were talking about us. They couldn't hear us. Or if they was talking about something in the chat. I just.
Yeah, I heard, okay, yeah, I'm reading it. Yeah, I can hear you fine. You sound good.
That's how you sound on my end. Yeah, you're right about that, Carlos. You do hear more. You hear more bad things or hatred towards Carver himself. Shit, the man put the dogs in the public, let the dogs do the talking.
Man, that's a PBK is y'all, but you sound fine to me. I don't know what I don't know.
Yeah, I ain't sure, man. You sound good on my end too.
Yeah. But I'm gonna just hop off then and just keep listening.
I appreciate you rocking with me today, Yellow One. I appreciate everybody down in the chat. Everybody that been listening from afar, hit that like button before y'all get up out of here, man. And remember to stay safe out there with them dogs. Stay hydrated yourself. Stay hydrated with them dogs. Do the legal things with them dogs, man. And have a good rest of y'all weekend, 4th of July weekend. When we out.